Don't look now, but UMD has won 2 straight games and sure seems like a team starting to find its game. The Dogs tonight are trying for a home sweep of top-ranked St. Cloud State. Good evening, hockey fans, and happy Hockey Day, Minnesota. Welcome inside Amsoil Arena and our My 9 Sports broadcast booth. I am Zach Schneider, joined tonight by former UMD captain Judd Medic. It is a small sample size, but with wins last Saturday night on the road against North Dakota and then last night against these number 1 ranked St. Cloud State Huskies, UMD seems like a team starting the second half, starting to find its identity. Tonight will be telling. Can you string back-to-back games against an upper echelon team like St. Cloud State?
Yeah, I mean, they're obviously looking to finish this great weekend off against the number 1 team in the country in St. Cloud coming in here. But more importantly, the fact that they are starting to play the right way. And they're getting results out of it by winning in North Dakota, coming back here Friday night, last night to win again, trying to find another victory tonight. But more importantly, just putting that effort forward and playing the right way, they're going to get rewarded. And I think that's the important thing here is the fact that they're starting to turn that corner a little bit.
The old adage in college hockey is that it's harder to win on Saturdays than it is on Fridays. We expect a better St. Cloud State team tonight than we saw last night. One of the important pieces, we believe, to that will be the play of Jami Krannila. He leads the team this season with 29 points, 13 goals, 16 assists. He was awfully quiet last night, as were a lot of guys for St. Cloud State, but expect Krannila and others to be more involved as St. Cloud State tries to earn the weekend split. For UMD, no debate really who to slot into this spotlight section after last night's game. Freshman Ben Steeves recorded already his second hat trick of the season. He's the first UMD player with 2 hat tricks in 1 year since JT Brown did it back in 2011-2012. He's the first UMD player with 3 power play goals in a single game since Marco Peluso in 2004. It's really rare what we saw out of Ben Steeves last night. 2 different starting goaltenders for our teams tonight for the Huskies. They'll turn to the Chicago Blackhawks draft pick Dominic Bassi, the transfer from Colorado College, 9-2-0, goals against of 1.74 and 3 shutouts on the year. UMD continues its rotation and will go with Zach Stayskal, the native of Cohasset, Minnesota, 5-6-1, 3.07 his goals against average. Let's turn now to our Kohler keys to the game. First for the visitors, St. Cloud State.
Well, they got to get back to basics. Obviously losing on Friday night here on the road. They want to just get back to basics. This team has no panic in them. There's a reason they're the number 1 team in the country. So keep it simple, play an easy road game, get pucks deep. They got a lot of talent. They just need to work hard, and I think the good things are going to happen for them. Obviously, last night for UMD, it was a special teams game. And those power play goals you talked about by Ben Steeves, that was the difference in the game. So St. Cloud needs to find a way to make that happen and win that battle on their side tonight.
And for UMD, trying for what would be a big 2-game sweep of St. Cloud State this weekend.
Well, they just need to control the puck. And when I say control the puck, Zach, I just mean make the safe plays, make the smart plays, keep things to the outside, control it. Don't force things up the middle and turn the puck over. Just control that puck and control the play and the pace of the game. And second, limit the grade A chances. A team like St. Cloud, you know they're going to get their chances. They're going to be all over the ice making things happen. But if you can limit those 2-on-1s, any breakaways, those grade A, so to speak, chances, you're going to be in a better position to win this hockey game.
Scott Sandlin before the game, I think, agreed with the point you just made, is that it's more important how the Bulldogs play tonight than necessarily the end result. You can win a game and play average, he says. You can lose a game and play great. He's more concerned with how the Bulldogs play in this second game of this series.
Yeah, and let's be honest, going into the weekend, if you can say, hey, let's get a split at home against the number 1 team in the country, I think you're going to be pretty happy about that. Well, they've secured that already, obviously, with the big win last night. So if they can go out and put that same effort forward, it's going to be a different game today. I would imagine they're not going to see the power plays and the 5-minute majors that they did. You never know. It might happen. We see it a lot here, obviously, in NCHC hockey. But the bottom line is they got to put the right effort forward. It's all about the process, playing the right way, and we know that this team is starting to turn that corner like we talked about and get better and better, and you never know what can happen. So Saturday night at home, it's a great situation to be in.
This is a UMD team that for much of the season has hovered right about where they are now, the 500 mark. They've had some ups, they've had some downs, but a big win last night, now 2 wins in a row for the Bulldogs. You can sense a buzz around the arena here tonight. The seats are full, and it should be a good one. St. Cloud State and UMD will drop the puck right after this on My 9 Sports. Tonight's game brought to you with the proud support of Essentia Health and Kohler Chevrolet Buick GMC. Thank you from wherever you're watching us tonight at My 9 Sports, Fox 9 in the Twin Cities metro area, or on NCHC TV. A couple changes to the St. Cloud State lineup. Ethan Aucoin draws in on one of the forward lines, and they get their 3-year captain defenseman Spencer Meyer back in the lineup tonight. He's been sick this week, but is going to give it a go tonight for the Huskies. He'll be a big addition for the visitors. No changes to the lineup for UMD. They'll skate with the 13th forward, Jack Smith, just as they have in the last 2 games. Both wins for UMD. Zach Schneider, Judd Medic, thanks for being with us on this Saturday night. Bulldogs and Huskies, here we go on Hockey Day, Minnesota. Bettens back in his own zone for the Bulldogs to Kaiser. Off the glass and out to center. Olsen is bothered by Meyer. St. Cloud holds the zone, and Cronulla on the attack in the far corner. Up the boards to Loney. He goes out to center ice. It's kicked forward by Bettens, who now will get it deep for UMD.
How about the game he had last night? Bettens showing some offensive skill and creating opportunities. Certainly one of those different makers for UMD last night. We talked a lot about Ben Steeves, but he was another one that stuck out.
He's been really good. 3 goals in his last 3 games, the freshman for UMD. Now it's James through center ice. He chips it past Lidke, and Bushy is there to wrap it around to the far side. Hit thrown by Lowhite. Miller turns it over now. Lowhite high in the zone, spins a shot, and Dominic Bassey makes his first save of the game for St. Cloud State. Let's go down between the benches to our Kevin Moore.
Thanks, Zach. This week, Scott Sandlin told us he didn't want his team to be comfortable following that big win against North Dakota, and well, the message received. The Bulldogs are playing like a desperate team, flying up and down the ice, playing fast and physical, but expect the Huskies team who's very prideful, the #1 team in the country, for a reason to respond. So I think it'll be a good test for the Dogs. Expect another fast, physical, and intense game, especially the way last night's game ended, fellas.
Yeah, some tempers were flaring at the end of that game last night for these 2 teams. Puck out of play and another face-off coming into the St. Cloud zone.
Oh yeah, there's never a dull moment when these 2 teams get together. It's a long history. Good rivalry over the years. Certainly was a part of that when I played against these guys. Has not changed one bit. It's always fun.
A lot of UMD fans will argue this is the most significant rival they have is St. Cloud State over the years. Others would argue it's Minnesota. Some say North Dakota. But I know plenty of people who like this rivalry game with St. Cloud State.
Well, with the NCHC, when Minnesota left, the WCHA went away, and this kind of became the interstate marquee matchup, obviously, to kind of magnify that rivalry, and it's continued strong.
Jacques with a long shot. Bassey makes the save and covers up. Zemer and Dashke, some pushing and shoving after the whistle. Well, we've described what's on the line for these 2 teams tonight. A lot on the line for St. Cloud State's head coach as well, Duluth native Brett Larson, right now at 99 career wins, Judd. And he would like nothing more than to get to 100 against his old team that he played for, coached for, grew up watching. You know Scott Sandlin and his bunch want Brett to go south with still 99 wins.
Yeah, wouldn't they love that, to send him home without getting it here at Amsoil Arena this weekend. Who would have thought that would have happened? But it's going to be a battle tonight. He's got a lot of work to do, but I know Brett Larson, nobody has more pride as a Bulldog than he did. Obviously, he's a Husky now, but he had this date circled on his calendar, not only for that 100th win, but obviously just because it's a big special weekend for him every year.
These are the first 2 of 4 meetings in this second half for these 2 teams. They'll close out the regular season in St. Cloud the first weekend of March. So they'll get very familiar with one another before the year's over. Takeaway now for UMD, 2-on-1 maybe if they hurry. Howard has Johnson with them. Howard to the middle, that's Spicer. It goes off his shin guards into the corner. Now back to the point, this is Goetz. Across for Kaiser. Back to Goetz, he loads and fires. Save made, the rebound, a save by Bassey. Johnson was on the doorstep for UMD. Kaiser gloves it down. Gives it to Howard. He shoots. That was blocked by Zemer. Stung him, and Kaiser holds. Long shot. That was blocked. And Molinar will clear for St. Cloud State.
Well, a good fury of action there. UMD kind of trying to force those pucks through. I thought maybe Kaiser could have moved it over there to find a shooting lane, but a couple of blocks there. But good early chances. UMD shooting the puck from everywhere. I wonder if that was something they talked about, but they are firing pucks on net and crashing there, trying to look for rebounds.
Now Loney with speed. He's directed to the far side by Trable. Good defense by Trable in the end, who got turned, it looked like, at neutral and had to recover quickly for St. Cloud. Now rink wide, Kronola in a foot race with Dubinsky. Leaves it in the circle to the forehand, and that went across the crease area of UMD. Olsen collects it for the Bulldogs. They'll get things settled down and clear. Loney pitchforks it to the St. Cloud line. It's gloved down by Wiley. And now it's Bettens. Tried to move it to the far side, James, but Dubinsky will shoot it in for the Bulldogs. James the first one there. He rims it around to the backside. Low height. Couldn't make a play on it. And it comes to the red line. Cruikshank tried to leave it and does. This is Miller. Now Kupka to the middle. Pinballed around, goes to the far boards, low height, off the glass, not out. He gets a second effort now and will leave for Will Francis, the Anaheim Ducks draft pick. And now it's Ben Steeves tied up along the near boards. 2-on-2 battle continues. Nearly 5 minutes gone in the opening period. The shot's 4-0 in favor of the Bulldogs. Miller digs it free. Behind the goal, tries to wrap around, and Stayskal had to stick to it. The former Grand Rapids teammates come head-to-head in the early going here. Cruikshank to Bushy, and now Lidke. Ahead of the line, Gallatin moved it to James, who circles back in his own zone for the Bulldogs. James across the line, has support with him, cuts to the middle. It's swept away. Smith and Latterroot meet in the corner. The puck pops free, and now Lidke with one hand up to Ingram, who had 2 goals in the game last night for St. Cloud State. Really liked the game of Adam Ingram, the freshman Nashville Predators draft pick. Not just the 2 goals, but he's a big body, and thought he controlled the play at times when he was out there with that fourth line for St. Cloud.
Yeah, great recruit from Brett Larson and his staff. Done such a great job.
Turnover behind the net, and Smith tried to wrap it around. He didn't get everything on it. Now Kaiser holds at the point. Shoots it towards the net. It's deflected, and back the other way comes St. Cloud. This is Spellacy. Moves it to the far side, and they're in ahead at the UMD line. Will step away, still scoreless. Bulldogs and Huskies and Minot Sports. No score yet, so there's still time for you to play the Hoops Brewing Goal Challenge. Who will score first tonight for the Bulldogs? Text that player's name to 218-721-8880 for your chance to win a $25 gift card to Hoops Brewing in Duluth Canal Park. Off the face-off, this is Howard, 1-on-4 as he crosses the line. The puck stays in, and Spicer will flip it to the corner. Zemer behind his own goal line, flips it to the far side. Trable, he gets it ahead for Spellacy. 3-on-2 as St. Cloud enters the zone. Spellacy centers, knocked away by Dashke. It's along the end boards, and now it's played by a coin. He's the addition to the lineup on the forward side for St. Cloud State. Along as we talked about Spencer Meyer, the 3-year captain for this Huskies team. And of course, Dylan Adhorn, injured last weekend and out for the season. The transfer from Union, you could really sense that St. Cloud missed their 2 big defensemen in last night's game.
Yeah, nice to have them back.
Okabe fires a shot that Stejskal snags with the glove, and a face-off coming. We'll step aside for this brief message from our sponsors.
Choose Ogston's Body and Paint when your car needs repairs.
Well, it's been a good start for both teams so far. Similar last night, it was a great first period of play before kind of all those penalties took place. Here's a chance. Okabe down the wing just throws it on net. No harm there, but good job keeping him to the outside. And that's what I talked about, just limiting grade A chances for the St. Cloud State team. They're obviously got a lot of high firepower, and keeping them to the outside, making them shoot from tough angles. That's exactly what they need to do, keeping everything in front of them for UMD.
Meyer back in his own zone. Across for Jack Peart. Cruikshank dumps it in. Stejskal out to play the puck to the far boards. It pops free to Kaiser, and now James. Good exit here for UMD. They've got numbers as they cross the blue line. James in the near circle leaves it for Steves. Couldn't get the shot away. It bounced over the stick of Cruikshank. Otherwise, it might have been odd man chance the other way.
Yeah, you can see how quick that transition is. St. Cloud just all of a sudden it was a rush for UMD, and one little bad bounce off a stick, and they were ready to pounce on that and go the other way. Kind of a lucky break for UMD. They weren't able to capitalize on that.
Gallatin slows things down behind the UMD goal, and now we'll start forward. Long pass ahead, has Latterroot. He tried to move it to the far side, another turnover, and the other way it goes for St. Cloud. Akabe tries to wind and fire on that sharp angle shot. It comes to Miettinen on the end boards. Kronola back to the point. Zemer delays, fires one wide on the glove side. Jocks the first one there, up the boards it comes, and now a 2-on-1 for UMD. Latterroot has Gallatin with him. Latterroot in the circle, and he fires it into the logo of Dominic Passy.
Wow, it was a great play by Latterroot to knock that puck out of the air there to corral it, because things are still continuing to happen in the corner here, but Latterroot knocked it off the boards, was able to gather it and come in 2-on-1, and probably not the shot he wanted to take there, as he just comes in and kind of puts a muffin right into the St. Cloud logo on goaltender Bassey. But nonetheless, it was a great job by him getting that puck up out of the zone as Gallatin jumped up in the play to make it a 2-on-1.
Some pushing and shoving after the whistle there, but no penalties called, and we'll continue 5-on-5. Each team had a 5-on-3 in last night's game. Each team scored in their 5-on-3, and then UMD got a major major power play when Josh Lidke got 5 minutes for checking from behind and cashed in 3 times on that power play. Did UMD?
Yeah, unbelievable. Scoring 3 times on that was certainly the difference in the game.
Spicer with a step now. That's off the shoulder of Bassey. Good save in the end. Fired toward the middle. Spicer again tried to turn and fire. And a penalty coming to, I believe, St. Cloud State. UMD will get the game's first power play.
That's going to be a hooking call. Trying to sort out who it is.
It's Josh Lidke.
Yeah, Lidke's arguing it, said it wasn't me. Yes, it wasn't me. Well, somebody's going to go here. It was kind of a Spicer up the ice there. I think it was that play. Yeah, right there you can see that stick. Good job by the guys there to freeze frame that one there under the arm. And
so UMD in the end was 4 for 8 with the power play last night. This is their first chance here on Saturday. Kaiser, middle point, down low. Olsen to the middle, shot, she scores! Luke Lowite, a power play goal. UMD strikes first.
Well, that's just fantastic execution. Watch what happens here right before this. It's a great play there to Lowite. I think he actually fans on that, but nonetheless, puts it in the right spot, up and over the shoulder, but the puck goes high to low real quick. St. Cloud State forcing on that penalty kill. They run out of the defenseman, and he throws it down real quick, and they make one more pass right down low to create that 2-on-1 down low, and that's what you got to do when you have a penalty kill that forces you up top. It's got to go down to the bottom as quick as possible, because that's where the outnumbered situation was, and that's what UMD did there. That's a set play where they get low height, that right-handed shot in the slot area, looking to get that low to high pass for the one-timer, and that's exactly what they did there.
It's a spot on the power play that has been vacated since the holiday break with the injury to Blake Biondi. That's the spot that he would normally take on UMD's power play. Luke Lowhite cashes in his 5th goal of the year, and UMD for the 2nd straight night has a 1-0 lead. Smith now fires, and Bassey swallows that one up for St. Cloud State.
Yeah, it was Quinn Olson who made that nice pass down low, and he got it from Kaiser up above, who threw it right down. And Olson knows exactly when he gets that puck, he already knows what he's doing it before he gets it. No hesitation. It's just a kind of a one-touch bump pass right to Lowhite, who moves into that position for the one-timer, and that's just good, smart execution by UMD there.
Shots 8-2 to this point in the hockey game. Trable, rink wide to Molinar, and he'll start forward for St. Cloud State. He'll chip it in and be the one to give chase. Dashke. Salquist will wrap it back in behind for St. Cloud. It's Zemer now down from the point. Toward the middle, centering pass, and Molinar almost had it bounce right to his stick. Salquist holds the zone on the near side. Into the corner, he spins away from the pressure, and now back up higher. He sends one through the low slot. Didn't hit anything, and now bounces around in the far circle. Picked up on the play, one of the Bulldogs. No call coming, despite the objections of the Bulldogs bench, as Dashke works his way below the goal. It's dug out of there by St. Cloud, and Salquist will relieve the pressure off the glass. Not far enough for icing, I don't think, and they will wave it off. Low height, chased by Ingram behind the UMD goal. Past the halfway mark now of period number 1. Luke Lowhite's power play goal, the only marker so far. Rink wide, Lidke jumps up in the play. Toe drag to the middle, that was blocked by either Francis or Gallatin. Two of the defensemen back for UMD. Steve sends it in deep. And now a takeaway by James, high in the zone. Latterroot gives him some help, gives it to Milmock in the corner. He spins back. Kaiser wants it at the point and gets it. He'll shoot it back in behind where it's Milmock. Far side corner to Jacques. He wanted the one-timer, fanned on it, and Crookshank wanted to transition there. You could see him looking around. His line mates were at the end of their shift.
Yeah, he had nobody. He just wanted to get the line and dump it in, but good job by UMD to force him quickly and not just sit back and allow him to find somebody coming off the bench there.
Meyer spins away from the pressure. Spellacy across the line, leaves it for Peart. Pokes it to the corner, and Rogers was crashing the net and actually took the net off its moorings as a shot came in from the far side. We'll step aside. 1-0 Bulldogs on the back of a Luke Lowhite power play goal on My 9 Sports. Back to live action here at Amsoil Arena. 8 minutes to go in this opening period. 2-on-2 battle in the near side corner. It's swept around to the far side. Wiley wins the race. He holds for St. Cloud. Akabe off the end boards. It comes to the near side. This is Lidke. A sharp angle shot, and it hit the pad of Stayskal. Bounced dangerously past the stick of, I believe it was Akabe. Nice play by Dashke off the boards. Loney tries to jam it out. Akabe takes a big hit from Olsen. Lidke holds down low in the far corner. That pass deflected, and UMD will relieve the pressure. It was all St. Cloud State there for about 90 seconds.
Yeah, good response from St. Cloud the last couple shifts, carrying the play, and good job by Stagecall to keep his team in. He made a couple of big saves there that at a key time as St. Cloud just turned the heat on a little bit here.
Puck deflected up out of play. And we will step aside for this brief message from our sponsors.
Want to increase your brand awareness? Look no further than Soda Sounds and Graphics.
We took a break a moment ago. The game did not, so while they clean the ice, we are going to go down between the benches to our Kevin Moore. Kevin.
Thanks, Zach. Coming up in the first intermission, it's only right we talk to a Hermantown alum, Joey Pierce, whose Hermantown Hogs just beat the Matamidi Zefs 6-3 on this Minnesota Hockey Day.
And Joey Pierce not in the lineup this weekend for UMD. More to say about the other 6 defensemen than Pierce, who I thought has played well for the most part in his freshman season with the Bulldogs. But you don't mess with what works. Scott Sandlin has used the same skaters as he had last Saturday in that win over North Dakota on the road, and then yesterday in the win here at home against St. Cloud State.
Yeah, it's hard to change things up when you got a winning formula going, and it's kind of a superstitious thing too for a lot of coaches as well. I know Scott hasn't played that card much over his career, but whatever's working, he wants to stick with it. I think a guy like Joey Pierce has a bright future. He's played really well this season, and he'll get another chance to show what he can do, I guarantee, down the stretch here.
The Ely native played his high school hockey at Hermantown, who, as Kevin said, got a win over Matamidi in the top 5 matchup of Class A schools on this hockey day in Minnesota. Was able to catch some of the coverage from the outdoor rink there. Looked like a fun venue. Good weather for it. A bit cold maybe for those in attendance, but good for the hockey.
Yeah, it looked like a great day down there, White Bear. Great program, a lot of history there. A lot of Bulldogs over the years from White Bear I can think of.
Big hit levied in the corner by Francis as the 2-on-2 battle continues. He and Spellacy, along with Meyer and Jacques engaged, and now it comes free. This is the UMD captain, Latterroot. He shoots it in. It rings around to the near side boards. Acoin and Smith battle for it there, but it's Peart who slows things down now behind the St. Cloud net. Jack Peart, the 2021 Minnesota Mr. Hockey Award winner, won the Reed Larson Award that year as well as the state's top defenseman. Minnesota Wild draft pick, and people in St. Cloud say his game is just getting better and better. A shot from Kupka is turned aside by Stayskal, and now a tip in front by Cruikshank. Great save by Stayskal on the redirect.
Yeah, St. Cloud continuing to pour it on here. What a great save that was. Just good traffic in front, a nice tip there. You can see the pressure, and they're going to take a penalty here as Kaiser gets upended. So UMD catches a break, and they might get a too many men on the ice here actually too. Nope, they didn't blow it down there, but I thought they could have called that, but goalie pulled now, so.
Completely against the run of play. St. Cloud State going to be on the penalty kill for the second time tonight as soon as they touch the puck. The delayed call on Loney through the middle, and there's the touch and the whistle. UMD to its second power play of the game. Low height cashed in on the first chance for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, I mean, that's the right call. It was a trip. It's just bad luck for St. Cloud. You'll see right here, Kaiser stops. You can see right there, he kind of sticks his leg out. A little bit of a slew foot by Cruikshank there, and a big break and an opportunity for UMD to build on this 1-0 lead already with a power play goal in this first period, and they'll look to do it again here.
Special teams, especially the power play, was so good yesterday for UMD for making St. Cloud State pay for specifically that major penalty issued at the end of the second period. A chance to go up by 2 goals, both on the power play here in the opening period of game 2. They start with the second unit, so-called second unit. Scott Sandlin doesn't like when we use terms like that, but they start this power play for UMD. Final 5 minutes of period number 1.
Spicer's got to be smart with that puck at the blue line there. It's either just got to get flipped in there or carry it across. Don't try to get fancy at the blue line there.
Loney controls on the far boards for UMD. It's chipped away from him, and Spellacy will get it through Dashke out to center ice. UMD will change its power play unit here as Gallatin controls. 45 seconds gone on this man advantage for the Bulldogs, and so far, not much in the offensive zone. Kaiser across the line for Olsen, back to Kaiser to the far side, and Steves, he scores! Guess who? It's Ben Steves on the power play. UMD leads it 2-0.
Well, watch this play by Kaiser here as he knows he's got Steves coming down the backside blind, and he throws it backwards to him, and that's a goal scorer's goal. Do you see the authority that he put that in the net with? That wasn't just lollygag it, take a shot. That's a shoot-to-score attitude on a guy right there who is a pure goal scorer. We saw it last night, obviously, and he continues it tonight. But when he got that puck, that's just not putting it in the open net. That's putting it back through the back of the net. And that's the attitude that goal scorers have, and certainly that's what he is.
Ben Steves with his 4th goal of the weekend, 16th of the season, and now a big hit behind the goal levied by Luke Lohheit, and a penalty coming to UMD as he ran through Jack Peart. The back official has the call, and we will sort it out when we come back. Right now it's 2-0 Bulldogs on My9 Sports. UMD Stores has the area's largest selection of UMD wear and is open 7 days a week. You can visit the campus store on Kirby Drive to see the newest gear for fans of all ages, or shop online anytime, anywhere at umdstores.com. Luke Lohheit penalty as we went to break, now under review for a potential major penalty.
Yeah, I mean, my gut tells me this is going to be a major. I mean, it's a heavy, heavy, hard hit. I mean, he kind of extends, I guess he keeps his arm down there. I mean, it's certainly a heavy, hard hit. It's shoulder, but it's to the head. I mean, again, it's like if you hit too hard in college hockey, it's almost automatically a 5-minute major. And I mean, they can look at this all they want. The fact that it was as hard as it was, it doesn't really have to be anything else a lot of the time. So we'll see. They are taking a really long. They're trying to convince themselves that it's a major. You know what I mean? Like it's either you look at it and either you see an elbow, you see him leave his feet, you see him direct contact the head. If you don't, then you don't. But I mean, they're obviously continuing to look for this.
Well, what they also might be looking for is now the new rule that you don't have to eject the player and issue a game misconduct along with the major. And I think, as I thought about it more, that's why the review last night with Josh Lidke's hit took so long, is that they were deciding more so whether or not it was worthy of a game misconduct than a 5-minute major. This might be the same scenario where they've already decided it's a 5, but deciding whether or not Lohheit has to leave.
Yeah, I think it is going to be a 5. I mean, there you go. What do I know, Zach? I mean,
I'm glad you're back so that you're wrong and it's not me.
Have we not seen, like, worse, or, you know, I don't know what the right terminology, but, like, we've seen worse get called 5-minute majors, or better plays, not as bad plays get called 5-minute majors. And Myers, having that conversation, Brett Larson asking. I mean, if I'm interpreting the rules, that was a thrust or a launch, I guess is the word that is in the rule book. It says if you launch at a player. To me, that looked like a launch. So I would say that probably should have been a 5-minute major. Brett's not happy about it. I understand.
Especially in the same series and with the same officiating crew as last night, which called the 5-minute major on Josh Lidke, which led to the onslaught of power play goals from UMD. But c'est la vie. It's a 2-minute minor for Luke Lohheit, and St. Cloud State will get its first power play of the game, a chance to cut this UMD lead in half late in the opening period. Draw goes to the end boards. Kaiser wraps it around. Latterroot will get it out to center and all the way down for UMD.
Nice job. Nice face-off win there on that penalty kill situation. Good clear and a good start. Good 20 seconds killed for UMD.
Latterroot pitchforks it ahead. Jacques in a foot race now, shorthanded. Jacques, a shot, he scores! Jesse Jacques, a shorthanded goal! It's 3-0 UMD!
What an unbelievable effort by Jesse Jacques. Watch this play. Latterroot gets it up the ice. Jacques outrace in the foot race, wins this, does a good job watch him on purpose. He keeps his stick up in the air. He doesn't go for the puck right away, knowing that the St. Cloud player is going to lift his stick. So watch what he does. He kind of lets the puck right there, and then he just snaps it quick release. Instead of stick handling it there, he pushes it once, kind of lifts his stick because he knows he's going to have contact, and then just comes back and one-times it. Great, smart play by Jesse Jocks there.
Without so many words, Scott Sandlin has asked over the last several weekends for more for some of his players. He said the younger guys are doing their part. We need more from some of our guys. Read between the lines, and that's Tanner Latterroot and Jesse Jocks, the two fifth-year seniors they've got back in this program, and they combine on a big shorthanded goal there for UMD. Power play continues now for St. Cloud for another minute and 15 seconds. A shocking result in the opening period here on Saturday night. Olsen fires at the length of the ice. Last minute now, this man advantage for St. Cloud State. Kaiser bothers Ingram. It comes to Trable at the point. Far side, it's Miettinen, a long shot. That was blocked. Crookshank couldn't get a stick to it. Trable holds. And Dubinsky with a clear for UMD. 30 seconds to go on the power play.
I love the job UMD's done on this penalty kill, and even on the 5-on-5 of clearing pucks and taking care of pucks. We talked about that as a key, is controlling the puck, and right there, making sure that puck gets down with authority when you have an opportunity to clear.
Meyer to the point, Peart. Final 10 seconds of the low height minor. Sahlquist to Peart. Far side, Meyer in the circle. Peart wants to fire and does. A save made. The rebound comes to Akabe. Can't get a stick on it, and it bounces in on Stayskal, who covers for UMD. With the power play now ended for St. Cloud State, we'll step aside for this brief message from our sponsors.
We'd love to see you in downtown Duluth at Mainstream Fashions for Men.
Well, that'll do it as that time expires on the low height penalty, and job well done with 2 minutes left exactly here in the first period. UMD not only kills it off, but they get the shorthanded goal by Jesse Jocks, and you can see Stagecall, nice job there to pounce on that rebound, not taking any chances.
Official takes a tumble off that draw. Back to his feet, and UMD able to clear back to even strength. This is Howard on the far side, tried to move it to the middle. Spellacy on the back pressure, picks that pass off. Out high in the zone, it's held by Spicer. He shovels it into the corner where Howard has it for UMD. Out in front, look for Johnson. Scott Sandlin this week called this all-freshman line arguably the team's best line over the last 2 or 3 weekends.
Yeah, they were great in North Dakota, especially on Saturday night. They're starting to develop something, some of that chemistry, the youngsters out there, and they're fun to watch.
Big hit levied there by Micah Miller. Johnson back to his feet for UMD. Good clean hit there by the Grand Rapids native. He's got the puck behind the net. Spicer goes up the boards and out to center. He takes a hit for his trouble as the Huskies try to turn to the physical game to get themselves back into it. Down 3-0, and at risk of a 2-game sweep on the road the very week that they ascended to the top spot in the national polls.
Well, it's that #1 ranking curse that St. Cloud's had over the years. Unable to, it's a long season obviously, but they've been at one before, and it hasn't really worked out for them at the end of the year when it comes down to it. But
Ingram center, Stayskal got to stick to that one, and a high stick called on UMD. Face off in the Bulldog zone with 17.1 seconds to go.
You know, I talked to Brett Larson before the weekend, and he was just talking about his team and saying, you know, this team isn't maybe as talented as some of the teams he's had over the years, but there's something special about this team, and just the way they work and the way they've come together as a team is different than the past. And I think that's what championship teams are made of. So I think he believes that he has what it takes with this group, and I'm not sure he expected or anybody expected them to be number one at any point this year in the country, but they certainly deserve it.
Well, right now they're dealing with the loss of maybe their best defenseman, Dylan Anhorn, who is certainly their best offensive defenseman at this point in the year and had an impact on the defensive side as well. They get Spencer Meyer back in the lineup tonight, but they trail 3-0 after 20 minutes. A great start for the home team, UMD, highlighted in the end by a shorthanded goal by the Hermantown native, Jesse Jacques. UMD leads it 3-0 after 20 minutes here at AMSOIL Arena, and right now our Kevin Moore is joined by UMD fifth-year senior defenseman Derek Daschke.
Thanks, Zach. Derek, Sandy told us this week that you guys had your best period, probably that first period this past Saturday against North Dakota. You guys have just built off that these last two games. What has clicked in these last two?
No, I think it's just we're buying into each other. I think after losing those 3 consecutive games, we kind of had a heart-to-heart as a team, and we were in a position where we didn't want to be anymore. So, we're all just kind of staying together and starting to buy into our process and the way we want to play.
And this process and just buying into the system, just how important just to finish this game off first and foremost, line shifting, keep them outside, because they're a great transition team.
Yeah, no, they're definitely a really good team, and, we just got to keep staying with the way we want to play hockey, get pucks in. Don't let them get to that transition game by chipping pucks in on the blue line and making their D turn and playing a 200-foot game.
And lastly, you got your 100-point last night. Congrats on the milestone, and you got it in the toughest conference in hockey. Just how does that feel?
Yeah, no, thank you. I appreciate it. And no, it's a good accomplishment, and it's just it's a testament for all the players I've played with. It wouldn't be possible without any of my teammates. So just the Bulldogs are giving me an opportunity to come here and play with some really great players, and luckily I was able to accomplish that.
All right, thanks, Derek. We'll see you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
3-0 ball game. Zach, send it back up to you.
Yeah, thanks very much. 85 of those 100 career points now for Derek Daschke. Came in his first 4 seasons with Miami. He's got 2 goals and 13 assists now for UMD this season. Maybe fittingly, the 100th point came last night on an assist for the puck-moving defenseman, but he's certainly been a welcome addition to UMD's blue line.
Yeah, really, the only guy I think that they picked up in the transfer portal from last year, but other than Thiessen, the goaltender, but he's been a nice addition to a defensive core that needed some help, obviously, after losing some key players. But there you see some statistics for him, leading the team in assists this year. Like you said, he's a puck mover. He gets up the ice. He sees power play time. So a nice young man. He's got a bright future. Probably can keep playing hockey. Obviously, I'm sure that's his goal. But 100 points in a career, that's impressive. Especially for a defenseman, that's incredible.
Talked at the pregame about UMD maybe being a team that's starting to find its identity, and the Bulldogs over the past several seasons have found a way of starting to feel more like their head coach, Scott Sandlin, a little bit more sandpaper, a little bit more grit to their game as the season goes along, and they couldn't have dreamt of a better start here on Saturday night.
Yeah, I think people were starting to hit the panic button a little bit during, a little bit of a skid that they were hitting. They lost 3 in a row, like Daschke just said. But, Coach Sandlin and the rest of the staff they've been pretty even keel and kind of, again, it's all about the process and just playing the right way and buying in. And finally, things start to pay off. And that's what's happening as they're seeing some results. And trust me, this game's far from over tonight. We're not talking about a victory by any means at this point, but just the effort of that first period, I'm not sure we would have seen that a month ago from this team. So good to see, especially when they get the results and they're leading 3-0 and a good start to this game.
Coaches often talk about a 60-minute effort. Well, UMD has 20 of that 60 done. 40 is still to go here at AMSOIL Arena. We'll take a break. The Super One Foods Intermission Report continues right after this on My 9 Sports.
There's a long history of Hermantown Hogs turning to Bulldogs. I don't need to remind anybody. They already know one of them, Joey Pierce, who sat down with our Zach Snyder.
Another Hermantown defenseman coming to UMD. It's not necessarily an original story at this point, but to be here and to be part of this program now is something that you kind of grown up watching. What's that feel like for you?
Yeah, it's unbelievable. This is kind of where I started dreaming as a little kid, where I'd want to be, just coming to games at AMSO and even the deck. And now to be a part of it's pretty special. As I got older, I obviously still wanted to be a Bulldog, but I saw how great this culture was around us, and it made me want to be a part of it even more.
Your family moved to Hermantown when you were a bit older, but you grew up in Ely. So what are your memories like of being a kid there, playing hockey in that community?
Yeah, it was just tons of ice time available, and so I was just skating all the time, all winter long, and yeah, it's definitely a special place in my heart, and we still go up there quite a bit.
But then as you get into high school years, your family makes the move to Hermantown, you're part of that program. What is it about Hermantown that makes its players so ready for the next level, this collegiate level?
Yeah, I don't think I could have chose a better spot than Hermantown, and I think it's just the culture they've created, and it's definitely been a long time in the making. They do the right things as a youth program and have kids outside all the time, and just free ice whenever that they're given to even us still today. If we call the rink, they'll give us an hour ice that they have available, and I think when you're part of it, it's definitely something special.
Does it help when you get here now to have a Jesse Jacques, a Blake Biondi, Darian Goetz, guys that have been through that same process, guys that maybe you can ask questions to during your first bit here at UMD?
Absolutely. Blake and Darian were both captains of mine when I was underclassman at Hermantown, and so it's definitely feels good to already have that relationship with those guys. And then over the summer I got really close to Jesse too, which has been great.
As you come into college, a new level of hockey, and into the NCHC, what's your focus going to be on this year? What are your strengths that you're hoping you can kind of lean on as you learn the college game?
Yeah, I think there's just going to be being willing to learn every single day and get better every single day is going to be big for me, because it's obviously a level I haven't been at before, and so I think just trying to do everything right away from the rink is going to be huge to help me at the rink. And when I'm at the rink, it's just taking care of myself and trying to learn from everything around me and the resources we have here.
Inside the House is brought to you by Bullion RV.
He's not playing, but he's all smiles like these kids here. Bulldogs up 3-0, second period coming up.
Welcome back to Amsoil Arena. 3-0 the score. UMD leading top-ranked St. Cloud State. 2 power play goals in that opening period for the Bulldogs and a shorthanded goal. 3 goals on 10 shots for the Bulldogs as they lead through 20 minutes. Elsewhere around the NCHC, Omaha shuts out Western Michigan tonight. A 2-0 win for the Mavericks. And North Dakota is up big early in the third period against Miami. Colorado College and Denver played that Gold Pan game in the home of the Colorado Avalanche, Ball Arena. Close to 19,000 people, I think, watched that game last night. They'll continue that series next Saturday in Colorado Springs. Here, 3-0. UMD leads at St. Cloud State, and I don't know, Judd, if you would have said before the game UMD was going to have this kind of a lead after just 20 minutes, if I would have believed you, but seeing is believing here at Amsoil Arena.
Well, and the way they did it, a couple power play goals and a shorthanded goal, obviously. I mean, 5-on-5, St. Cloud might have been the better team. You know, they had that spurt in the first period for about 7 minutes when they kind of controlled the play, and then they took that penalty kind of against the grain, and UMD was able to capitalize. That was the Steve's goal. Then they get a power play for themselves finally, and UMD gets a shorthanded goal. So it was just kind of a frustrating game for Brett Larson and his Huskies tonight. But this UMD team, I'll tell you what, they've really turned a corner, and they are playing some good hockey right now, and looking like a team who's going to make a little run here in the second half.
A lot of ball game left, as they say, as we start the second period for these two teams. St. Cloud State, a team that can score in bunches, a top 10 team in terms of goals scored this season. So UMD with a lot of work left to do, but a good start here on Hockey Day, Minnesota. Trying for the sweep, and a 3-game winning streak is UMD. Second period underway. Thanks for being with us. My 9 Sports, Fox 9 in the Twin Cities metro area, NCHC TV, wherever you are. Thanks for spending Saturday night with us. Bouncing puck through neutral. One of the Huskies broke his stick, and that lays at center ice. Now will be picked up by one of the officials. As Goetz controls in his own zone. It's turned over, though. This is Cruikshank. He takes a bump from Kaiser, separates him from the puck. Comes back to Cruikshank, who hits Kaiser into the near boards.
Wyatt Kaiser has been very active this weekend. Saw a lot of minutes last night. His last couple minutes of that game last night, he was out there maybe for the whole time, but he's also been a huge impact tonight. He's already got a couple assists, but defensively as well, that's where he's changed his game and taken it to the next level.
Penalty coming here to UMD. Might be to Kaiser for a cross check. Not sure who they got in that scrum, as a tip puck is stopped by Stayskal, directed to the end boards. Extra attacker on for St. Cloud State. Trable, long shot, that hit bodies in front, bounces to Cronulla, back to Trable. He gives it to Wiley in the near circle, walks in a shot. That was wide. It comes to Cronulla, and now Trable. Wiley, delayed call on UMD. Trable winds, fires the save made by Stayskal, and the whistle goes. St. Cloud doesn't like it as the puck had popped free to the end boards, but they'll get a power play as UMD's Loney will head to the box. 2 minutes for tripping.
Yeah, I didn't see the penalty. There was a 3-on-3 battle down low in the near corner here. And it just looked like what we've kind of been seeing all night. Just good, strong battles in the corners, defensive side positioning. It must have kind of happened off the puck or something, but Loney headed off for tripping.
Second power play of the game for St. Cloud State. UMD scored a shorthanded one on their first chance. Pass out in the middle. That was disrupted, and Dubinsky will clear. A bit early in the game to call this a must-score situation for St. Cloud, but it sure would help as they try to battle back.
Yeah, it would definitely change the tempo of this game if they are able to cash one in here. Big momentum booster for them. That looked offside. No.
We continue on. Saltquist in the far corner. Back to Peart. Lidke. Akabe. They switch places. Peart. Across for Akabe in the circle. A shot that got blocked to the far side. Cronulla moves it to Peart. Lidke. Peart gonna fire. That's blocked by Jacques. Cronulla will hold the zone. Gives it to Peart at the top. 1 minute gone in this St. Cloud power play. Peart. Cronulla one-timer, he scores! Yami Cronulla, a power play goal, and St. Cloud State on the board.
Well, remember that one. St. Cloud back in this game, and you'll see the pass come across the Cronulla, and it's a St. Cloud player who does a nice job to come right through the vision right there of stage call. I can't quite make out who it was right there on the left of your screen. It looks like it was Saltquist doing his job, taking the eyes away from stage call right when that puck comes through. Otherwise, stage call was there. He got across, but a perfectly placed shot, and I don't think he saw it. But that was a big goal.
Talked about Cronulla in the pregame. He's the NCHC forward of the week this week. Ranks 5th in the NCHC coming in. That's his 14th goal of the year, and he gets St. Cloud State on the board. They're within 2. It's 3-1. Cruikshank tries to step around Francis. A centering pass that looked dangerous comes to Trable at the point. Far side, Miller fires, saved by Stayskal, and he gets a glove to it. Battle going on in front, and it continues here after the whistle. Francis, along with Cruikshank, in front of the crease area of UMD. And penalties will come of this. They'll get both of them. Both for roughing, and we'll skate 4-on-4.
Yeah, I think you'll take that trade if you're UMD right now. Francis for Cruikshank for the next couple minutes. Stage call standing strong there, making a couple big saves again. St. Cloud does a nice job working the puck around the perimeter, getting it to the net with traffic, and they are certainly pressing for more already after getting this early power play goal.
4-on-4 will skate for 2 minutes, barring any other action to the penalty box. This is Kaiser who controls. Gives it to James, who comes through center ice for UMD. Really haven't been to this end of the ice so far in this period. Tried to move it to the middle. That was behind low height, and St. Cloud takes control. Bushy to the far side. It's Lidke. Those two play catch back at the St. Cloud State end, and now it's Lidke to move it forward. Hands off for Bushy. St. Cloud changes 3 of its 4 skaters as Bushy moves it below the goal line of UMD. Into the corner, stapled to the wall by Kaiser. Moves it to Peart, and now we'll head to the bench. Peart to Miettinen. He hands off, comes to the point. Trable walks down Main Street and a shot into the logo of Zach Stayskal for UMD.
Well, it's 4-on-4 situation, becomes basically man-on-man. Just kind of keeping things to the outside there. That's what UMD does there. They'll give up that shot any day of the week from the outside, and Stayskal just out of the top of his crease makes an easy save.
Not a ton asked of Zach Stayskal to this point in the game. Some routine saves among his 10. Nothing super out of the ordinary for Zach Stayskal, but he's been maybe getting better and better, along with Matthew Thiessen for UMD, but kind of like the team has been this year.
Yeah, certainly have, and it's a big part of it. Any success is obviously going to ride on the goaltending, like any winning team.
Trable controls. Still 55 seconds to go in the 4-on-4. It comes to Kupka behind the net. Centers for Peart, and that hit the pad, I think, of Zach Stayskal. And now UMD controls for its turn with the puck. 45 seconds to go in the 4-on-4. Teams are so much better, I feel like, at the 4-on-4 because of the new overtime rules, the 3-on-3. It's essentially the same game. Man-on-man, a lot of open ice. As Olsen has it now for UMD. Might have hit the post as he fired that one from the near side faceoff dot.
Wow, nifty stick handling there by Quinn Olsen as he little toe drag and opens up and then rips it short side. You could see it. Great angle, vantage point for us here as well as you at home there, as I think that might have either caught his shoulder, Bassey's shoulder, or the crossbar, but nifty play by Olsen there. He's also got a couple assists tonight already.
Face-off now in the St. Cloud State zone. Jacques to draw against Salquist. Jacques goes forward with it, and a quick shot in on Bassey, and now the puck's still free on the far side, and it squirts to the corner. Great play by Jesse Jacques, who's playing with a ton of confidence the past couple games for UMD. Now Gallatin steps up, gives it to Latterud. He fires just wide of the goal. Salquist will pick it up for St. Cloud and move it quickly the other way. We're back to 5-on-5. Francis out of the box. And St. Cloud State wanted that called as they thought he played the puck before entering the ice. And they are going to get that called, actually. I didn't see the arm up initially, but I think what they're calling here, Judd, is that Francis, when he was released from the box, reached out and played the puck while he was still standing in the penalty box, which is a unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, I believe, officially. And I think that's what they're calling. Delayed call here on UMD. We'll find out as UMD touches up. No whistle, though, as Gallatin had full possession of that puck, but play continues. Miettinen now to the middle, a long shot, and Stayskal makes the save. St. Cloud State back to the power play. We'll sort it out after the break here on My 9 Sports. The score 3-1, UMD leading St. Cloud State. Hoops Brewing is the place to be before, during, or after UMD hockey games here at Amsoil Arena. Go enjoy some of the area's best locally crafted beer. Check out Hoops Brewing, your official watch site of UMD hockey. It was as we thought. Will Francis, interference officially the call, as they say he played the puck from the penalty box without re-entering the ice. It's kind of like if a player from the bench were to reach over and play the puck. That's how it's considered. And UMD to the penalty kill. St. Cloud State, which just got a power play goal from Yami Kronola. Back with the man advantage. Chance to pull within one. Akabe to Lidke. Peart. Lidke. In front, looking for the tip of Akabe, didn't get it. Cronulla, the goal scorer, has it on the far boards, now into the corner. Peart walks in, Lidke wanted to fire that one, gives it to Cronulla, loads, fires, he scores! Yami Cronulla, a second power play goal. It's a 1-goal game, 3-2 here at Amsoil Arena.
Well, that's just a clean beat there. Cronulla takes his time and just wrists it through and just beats Stage Call, who sees it the whole way. He wasn't screened on this one. This pass almost picked off in the middle. You can see there, just beats him far side, but man, what a turn of events here. Undisciplined penalty by Will Francis to play that puck from the penalty box, and it's an interesting call, but it is what it is. It's the rules, so all of a sudden St. Cloud's back in this hockey game.
A 1-goal game. 6.5 minutes now into the second period. Bettens flips it ahead. Olsen on the chase for UMD. He'll get there first. Works in behind the goal. Moves it around to the far side. Dashke back in behind. Loney fights with Lidke. Up the boards. One-timer from Bettens. Pad save Bassey. Dashke fires the rebound. It comes to Bettens on the near side. Bettens tries to wrap around. He gives it to Olsen, who fires. That shot was blocked. Thought Bettens was going to try to jam that on the far side. Instead, gave to Olsen for a really good look from the top of the circle. Now a long pass ahead. Misses Jacques. He'll beat out the icing. Delivers a hit behind the goal as UMD tries to respond to these 2 power play goals from the Huskies. Miller will flip to center. Francis gloves it down. He shoots it in. Wiley lifts it off the boards. Glove down by Latteroot. Gets it as far as Milmock. Milmock to Latteroot. Goes skate to stick nicely. Back to the point now, Gallatin. Long shot. That was blocked by Miller. Up in the air it goes. It bounces to the top of the crease area. And St. Cloud able to deal with that. And now a hand pass is called. We'll step aside for this brief message from our sponsors.
Choose Ogston's Body and Paint when your car needs repairs.
So hand pass there on St. Cloud, so they will not be able to change, and the faceoff will stay in their zone. So similar to what happened in the first period when the net came off, UMD wasn't able to change, and faceoff play continued quickly. So UMD finally a 5-on-5 shift here in the second period where they had some pressure. They need to continue to do this and just settle down a little bit. Still have this 3-2 lead, obviously, which is great, but need to get back to basics here, back to work.
Face off to the right of Bassey. Crookshank will draw against Jacques. Jacques wins it. Comes to Latteroot. Hands off for Gallatin. Centering pass through the top of the crease. Winding and firing as Francis broke the stick of Miller, who just attacks him there. Francis able to hold. Good play by Miller, to be quite honest, as he broke his stick and then just took time and space from Francis. Now a long shot. That hit bodies in front. Milmock takes a hit, gets it to Jacques, wanted to fire. Miller without a stick, kicks it out of the zone for St. Cloud. Now it's Latteroot, moves it ahead. Howard behind the defense. He's tripped up by Peart, who takes the puck away, flips it to the blue line. Another good hold momentarily for Francis. Now he gets some help. Sprawling on the play was Howard. Comes to Johnson. Johnson, a shot, and Bassey makes a save. One of the Huskies is down injured on the near side. I think that's Trable, and he is holding the back of his neck. I did not see what happened to him after he slipped. He was involved in the hit with Luke Johnson. Let's see if we can get a look at it here. Oh, Johnson's stick, I think.
Yes, Johnson has the puck here, and Trable comes across. Ooh, you can see right there as he's in the act of spinning. I mean, the refs are talking about this. I mean,
it was nothing was called on the ice as it happened.
Exactly.
And to be honest, I didn't see it as Trable went down.
I don't think anybody saw it. The problem is St. Cloud now, they're seeing it on their bench. They're seeing it up in the booth. So
Yeah, they can challenge this for what would be a high-sticking major.
I think they will. Yeah.
It does have to be a major. They cannot call a minor. Yeah. And based on what we've seen, Judd, if we thought the hit by Lowhite in the first period rose to the seriousness of a major penalty, I would venture a guess. We were wrong in the first period that this one might be called, and Luke Johnson will be sitting for 5 minutes. That's pretty direct contact from his stick to the back of the neck.
It was. It wasn't. I mean, it wasn't.
Trable.
Certainly wasn't on purpose. He was kind of out of control spinning, as you'll see here. Watch as he gets tied up. He's going down, and he just kind of comes over and hits the player on the back of the neck. So, like you said, I think we'll be seeing 5 minutes here. You got to be responsible for your stick at all times.
The important part is that Trable was able to get up and skate off. He's on the Huskies bench being attended to by the athletic training staff right now. It looked like he was going to be okay in the long run. Kind of a scary situation.
Yeah.
In the early going as he was holding the back of his head. And at that point, I didn't know what had happened. But he is up and discussing on the bench. So we'll keep an eye out for Trable, the senior defenseman out of the Czech Republic. Played as part of his junior hockey here in Cloquet for the Minnesota Wilderness in the NAHL. So familiar with this part of the world. And he looks to be doing okay as conversations have stopped with the training staff. And I would expect him back as he gets his helmet back on now. The officials still discussing this and appear now to have a verdict. The penalty box door is open on the UMD side, which tells me that this is a major penalty to UMD.
37 Minnesota Blue, 5-minute major slash.
It is indeed 5-minute major to Luke Johnson for UMD. A good challenge by St. Cloud State, and they will get a major power play, much like UMD did last night, with a chance to draw even and maybe take the lead.
Yeah, it's an unfortunate call for UMD here, but that violent stick kind of action, just unlucky that it comes right down on the back of a player's neck. And good challenge by St. Cloud there to spot that quick up in the booth. They're on the bench there on their iPads and quickly make that challenge.
No misconduct for Johnson, so after the 5 minutes is served, he'll remain in the game, much like Josh Lidke did last night for St. Cloud. 5-minute power play starts now for the Huskies as they trail by a goal. Long, clear, and dangerously went over the glass on the far side of the rink. The entire UMD bench was screaming as that sailed right over their heads and into the crowd. I don't think anybody is...
No, it hit the railing. Actually, you can see the fans kind of pointing to where it hit the metal railing. But that thing was sailing in.
So the face-off in the Bulldog zone.
Yeah, kind of a UMD won the draw. Jesse Jocks did a great job. They had an easy clear there. And it was fired out of the zone by Dubinsky, I believe. And that's a play you got to keep in the ice surface. Now all of a sudden St. Cloud wins this one and they got possession.
Pearts at the top. Cronulla already with 2 power play goals. Lidke to the far side. Can we see 2 players with natural hat tricks all on the power play in the same series, Judd?
Well, the odds are pretty high at this point. They tried to go the other way to Okabe on the other side for the one-timer through the box. We'll see if they reverse it back to Cronulla.
45 seconds gone on the major power play. Through center ice, Akabe to Salquist. Tried to go back to the point, but Peart wasn't there. He'll chase back to the St. Cloud zone. Nearly a minute already gone of this power play for the Huskies. Ahead for Kupka. Mietinen taken away by James and cleared. UMD so far so good.
How about a second shorty for UMD? They already had one tonight in the first period. It'd be a great time for another one.
James a shot, stick saved by Bassey. I was booking tickets to Vegas if that had gone in with you, Judd.
Well, they still got 3.5 minutes to do it, so.
Miettinen through center ice, across the line. Gives back to the point. There's Trable. Good to see him back. Into the circle he works. Now it's Miettinen. Kupka. Ingram. Pair of goals last night for Adam Ingram. Miettinen in the circle. A shot blocked by Dubinsky. Trable picks it up in the corner. Works it to the far side. There's Ingram. Kupka. He quarterbacks this second unit for St. Cloud State. Now it's Trable. Goes over his stick but stays in the zone. Miettinen. In front, tipped, and a save by Stayskal as Kupka was camped out in front of the crease for St. Cloud State.
Yeah, nice little redirection by Kupka there. You'll see him, Miettinen just waits and waits and waits and throws it quick, but Stagecall, nice job to keep his stick down and cover everything on the bottom so nothing can get through on that redirection.
Wyatt Kaiser might have blocked a shot with his hand. He's getting worked on the UMD bench right now. Hasn't left the bench yet, but getting one of his hands looked at. Not sure which one, as the penalty kill continues for UMD. Something to monitor for the Bulldogs. Lidke tried to go back top of the zone for Peart. It's broken up by Olsen, and Loney clears. Akabe to the half boards. Back to the point, Peart. They'll try to get set up. Kronola in the circle. A shot blocked by Gallatin. He gets it to the point, held by Peart. Halfway gone in the major power play for St. Cloud State. Lidke into the corner. Behind the goal, Salquist, Kronola, Peart. Lidke at the faceoff dot. Block shot by Goetz. He's the first one there. It's up into the high netting, and a faceoff coming with 8:45 to go in the period. Let's step aside for this brief message from our sponsors.
Want to increase your brand awareness? Look no further than Soda Sounds and Graphics.
Well, UMD doing a much better job this time around on the penalty kill, protecting the middle of the ice and not allowing that seam through the middle to the back door to Kronola on one side or Alkabi on the other. They're getting back to the middle with their sticks and their bodies, straight line, stops and starts, taking that play away and keeping things to the perimeter. That's what they got to do here.
Ingram, far side circle, fires. Dashke with the block for UMD. Ingram collects it, gets it to Trable. Ingram, 2 minutes to go in the major power play. Ingram. Trable, now Miettinen. Down the near boards into the corner. Wanted to go to that bumper. That's Crookshank. It's taken away by Latterroot and cleared by UMD. Trable ahead for Miettinen. Across the UMD line. A shot swallowed up by Stayskal. And another face-off coming in the Bulldog zone.
Well, we'll give that up. They'll give that up anytime they can. UMD will. Miettinen just kind of forces this instead of setting it up, shoots from the outside, and face-off though, and allows this top unit for St. Cloud to get back out on the ice.
1:32 to go in the 5-minute major to UMD's Luke Johnson. So far, pretty good from the UMD penalty kill on this major power play. False start off the draw, so we'll do it again. Low height, facing off against Salquist. St. Cloud controls. Peart to Lidke. Akabe to Peart. Kronola. Down low, Salquist. Centering pass off the pad of Stayskal. Comes to Kronola. Now it's Peart. Walks to the middle, fires a shot. That was blocked. And a penalty coming now to St. Cloud. A delayed call, but James the other way. Shorthanded for UMD. Fires high on the stick side, and now the whistle goes. We'll skate 4-on-4 when we come back. It's 3-2 Bulldogs on My9 Sports.
Welcome back to a 3-2 game, 4-on-4 hockey for the Bulldogs. Go on the power play for a minute. Coming up in the second intermission, we sit down with Isaac Howard. Things seem to be starting to click with him. A couple of good series these last few. See if he can continue it coming up.
Yeah, Isaac Howard, one of those freshmen that Scott Sandlin has talked about, starting to turn a corner, but he talked it even in the beginning of the year in September, Judd, about needing to have more patience. And Scott Sandlin, for those that know him or those that just watch him on TV with his interviews around the team, might know he's not always a very patient guy, and he admits that, but he said we have to be patient with this group as we go through the season, and now they're starting to see the benefits of that.
Yeah, I mean, so raw coming out of the development program and the first-round pick, obviously, and we remember when, players in the past, Riley Tufte, for example, come in and they're just so high-end skill, so high-end talent that they just takes a little bit of time to learn how to play the game at this level, and no different for Isaac Howard this year. Matt Niskanen, another name that comes to mind, obviously, when you think of that high-end talent, first-rounder. It took him 2 years to figure it out.
Bit of a delay here, and I'm not sure why. The officials were on the headset upstairs talking about something. They weren't looking at the monitor to review anything over that break, but they were discussing something with the people upstairs. Might be a technical malfunction with the equipment that we're waiting on. Both head coaches have had brief conversations with the officials, and it looks like we're just waiting for something to fire back up so we can continue play. There's no review actively going on. Mason Salquist, as we went to break, the penalty for tripping to St. Cloud State, so there will be 1 minute and 5 seconds of 4-on-4, followed by an abbreviated UMD power play. You get a look there at the Salquist penalty that will negate the remainder of that St. Cloud State major power play, Jeff.
Yeah, just 1:05 left in this 5-minute major. UMD is trying to kill successfully so far, so we'll try to play 4-on-4 for a minute and have a minute for a little less of a power play themselves to maybe get some momentum back.
4-on-4 for 1 minute and 5 seconds. Our second stint of 4-on-4 hockey already here tonight. Off the draw, UMD controls. Loney out near the blue line. It comes back to center, and Olsen picks it up there for UMD. 7.5 minutes to play in period number 2. So far, Yami Kronola, the two markers in this frame, both on the power play for St. Cloud State. Trable leaves it now for Akabe with some speed across the UMD line. Akabe into the corner, rising shot, and Stayskal turns that one aside for UMD. Kupka hands off for Trable. Wanted to center, turns back, defended by Loney. Tries to give it to Okabe and does. He sweeps it into the corner, helped along by Olsen, and now up the far boards. This is Dubinsky. Back for Dashke. Final 10 seconds of the 4-on-4, and then about a minute of UMD power play time. Right. Officially their third of the game.
Probably just settle this down here, 4-3-2-1. Now you got a little rush up the ice, 5-on-4 as Johnson comes out of the box. Smart play by Dashke there.
Power play now for UMD, 45 seconds. Behind the net, it's Lohite. Turns it over, and Lidke will get a clear for St. Cloud State.
Yeah, that was one you wanted to keep possession there. Lohite unable to hold that down below. Now UMD rushes quick, try to get something off the rush here.
Steves wraps it around to the far side, still 30 seconds in the man advantage for the Bulldogs. Comes up the boards, and that will be another clear by St. Cloud State. Time for one last rush if they hurry. Final 15 seconds, but Cruikshank does away with that. He pressures Kaiser in the corner, and UMD will start up ice with what remains of the 5-on-4. Zemer whacks at it there. It comes to Steves, high in the slot, rising on the glove side. He missed the net. Back to 5-on-5. 5.5 minutes to go in the third period. Parrott in the near corner. Up the boards. This is Salquist out of the box. The near side boards. He fires one off the chest of Stayskal. Kronola tried to go to the point. That's between the defensemen and comes all the way back to the Huskies zone where Wiley has it 200 feet away.
Well, big 5 minutes left here in the second period. See how long this thing stays at 5-on-5. Haven't had much of it in this middle frame, but St. Cloud in a great position here.
Good centering pass by Rogers, couldn't find anybody. Shot that was blocked and played out to center ice by UMD. Dubinsky off the boards. Milmock, they've got numbers if they hustle. Dashke jumps up in the play, gives it to Jacques. Dashke went to the net. The puck directed up out of play. We'll take a break. 3-2 Bulldogs on My 9 Sports. The very best in UMD gear is available right now at UMD stores. They've got jerseys, sweatshirts, t-shirts, and much more. The store is open 7 days a week on campus, or you can shop online anytime, anywhere at umdstores.com. 4:42 to go. Offensive zone face-off here for UMD. Bring out the all-freshman line. Jack Smith, the extra forward, out there with Cole Spicer and Isaac Howard. With all the special teams, it's tough sometimes to rotate in all your lines, let alone the extra forward.
Yeah, we haven't seen much of Isaac Howard this period. Unfortunately, as we were talking about him earlier this period, they should be well rested at this point as St. Cloud goes offside there.
Skelisy was weaving his way through the defense, but in offside. We'll step aside for this brief message from our sponsors.
We'd love to see you in downtown Duluth at Mainstream Fashions for Men.
Well, St. Cloud gets a change, but UMD, Scott Sandlin keeps that freshman line out there. Interesting. Like I said, they're well rested. Had a quick little 10-second shift there, and Brett Larson throw Saltquist line out.
Smith comes away from it. Off the draw, he dumps it in. Bassey moves it along the near boards. Back to the point. This is Gallatin for UMD at the half boards. There's Howard. First round draft pick last year, the Tampa Bay Lightning, high in the zone. A long shot missed on the 6th side. The rebound, they score! Owen Gallatin is 4-2 UMD.
Well, what a great play. Right on cue, Isaac Howard, he rolls up high like this, and watch, he just throws it on net real quick. He knows he's got traffic, but it's Owen Gallatin, the defenseman, who recognizes it, and he comes down the backside. He's active, he's moving, gets that puck off the end wall. Instead of staying up top, UMD had nobody up high there. That's called a calculated risk, as Isaac Howard rolls up, throws it to the net. You see Gallatin just comes down that weak side, finds that puck, and puts it in the back of the net. What a big goal there for UMD with 4 minutes and change left, and they get that two-goal lead back.
Now again a shot. Bassey makes the save. That was Olsen from the far circle for UMD. It's Gallatin's 4th goal of the season, the sophomore defenseman out of Hugo. Loney now with it in his own defensive zone. Gives it to Kaiser, who's back after whatever injury he had earlier. Didn't miss a shift, I don't believe, on that penalty kill for UMD. And back out there now. Olsen, he'll wrap it around. 3.5 minutes to play here in the second period. An important 3.5 minutes for both these teams.
It's a huge 3 minutes here for this Bulldog team. Maybe the biggest 3 minutes of the season so far, Zach. I know, not an exaggeration. If they can keep this lead at 2 heading into the third, what an opportunity to have a great weekend.
Talked in the pregame about how UMD was able to win yesterday's game. That's what Scott Sandlin was most happy with. He said it was not a win without adversity. We didn't coast to a big win over a tough rival. We had to go through some ups and downs in that game. This game very similar, and so far more ups than downs for UMD here on Saturday night. James, the takeaway just inside the line, weaves his way to the middle. Still James to the front, and Bassey makes the stop for St. Cloud State.
Oh, what an effort there by James, keeping his feet moving, just disrupting St. Cloud, and gets that puck, throws it on net, and Luke Lowhite crashing the net looking for a rebound. There's that freshman goal leader. We talked about Ben Steves all weekend. You can see he just continues to climb those charts in some pretty good company. Logan Cooley, Jimmy Snuggerud, a couple of Minnesota players, very highly touted first-round picks.
I don't know if Adam Fantilli scored today for Michigan, but I know Jimmy Snuggerud scored 2 goals, so he's at 16. Steves is at 16 with his goal here tonight. So right now, without knowing what Fantilli did, it's a 3-way tie for the most goals in the country by a freshman this year. Ben Steves, one of them. Now a 4-on-2 developing for St. Cloud State. Peart to a coin to Spellacy, a shot that just missed on the stick side. And Karam's off the boards and a clear for UMD. Heavy shot there from Aiden Spellacy, who's got the puck again. He gets it into the UMD zone. Taken away from Francis, a coin. Pushed to the wall by Gallatin. And now Latterroot will settle things down for UMD. 45 to go, second period.
Just getting pucks out smart like that, like Latterroot did there, and then getting it deep, not taking any chances, certainly no neutral zone turnovers. That's what St. Cloud loves.
Mietinen now into the Bulldog zone. 90 seconds to play in the period. Akabe along the near side to the point. Wiley delays there, set one towards the front of the net, hit bodies and bounces to Olsen. He tried to wrap it out to the zone. It comes to Mietinen. Olsen pushes him to the ice. Mietinen back to his feet and still controls. He's bothered now by Bettens for UMD. Tripped up, no call coming on that. Olsen has the puck in the corner. Kaiser lost it in his own feet, finds it, and now flips it off the scoreboard here at Amsoil Arena with just under 1 minute to play. The face-off will come back in the UMD zone.
Yeah, high flip play there. It almost would have worked if it was just a little bit too much, and it hits the Jumbotron here at Amsoil Arena. They still call that a Jumbotron? I think so. I knew what I was talking about when I said it, but.
Well, and he took out a piece of the Jumbotron. We can't see it from our vantage point, but the cameras just showed it.
Oh, yeah,
it hit the video screen, so. They're still in college, so I don't know if they'll make him pay for it. Maybe when he gets to the Chicago Blackhawks, he can send a generous donation back to UMD. Flipped out to center now by the Bulldogs.
There's a better flip play by Ben Steves there, not quite as high.
Bushy through center ice. Tipped in by Kupka. Dashke back to get it for UMD. Moves it to the far side. Steves off the wall nicely. James to Dubinsky, and they'll clear. Final 30 seconds now as Dubinsky is ridden hard into the boards. He's back to his feet. James with the puck in the corner. Poked away from him by Bushy. Heavy hitting between these two teams that are going to be, as we said, very familiar with one another come playoff time. This is the first of 2 weekend series they'll have in this season's second half. Dashke all the way down. That'll be an icing, and with 3.6 seconds to go on offensive zone face-off for St. Cloud State.
Yeah, it'll be on the to the left of stage call, so see what Brett Larson has drawn up here. Probably assume they'll try to go forward with this. Although 3.6 enough time to win it cleanly back and get a shot on goal. Let's see what they have here.
Chrono will take the draw for St. Cloud. Looks like he's going to try and win it back. He'll draw against Jesse Jacques for UMD. Shoveled toward the net. It went through the crease area from Cooper Wiley. Dangerous looking play, but the period does come to an end. A big goal from Owen Gallatin as the Bulldogs up 4-2. The Super One Foods intermission report starts right after this on My 9 Sports. 4-2 the score. UMD leading top-ranked St. Cloud State here with 20 minutes to go at Amsoil Arena. And right now our Kevin Moore as UMD sophomore forward Carter Loney with them on the ice.
Thanks, Zach. First period, Derek talked about the process. I mean, this game is just the example of trusting the process, just sticking with it. Just what is that goal that you guys got, extending lead to 2 mean going to the third?
No, it was big. Obviously, we let up a few penalty kill goals, but I mean, we got 2 back, and then just keeping with the momentum was huge.
And every line has contributed, down first to last. Just what has the last few weeks been, and what has clicked for everybody?
I think just start some practice. Coming into the rink with a lot of energy and trusting each other, and just having good practices every week.
And I know you're always the last one off the ice, getting that last goal. Got to see one go in, and then you get one yesterday. Just how good did that feel?
It felt good. Obviously, just want to keep on scoring goals, hopefully. So, just bringing that every shift.
All right, thanks, you third.
Thank you.
Big goal Bulldogs got to extend the lead to 2, 4-2, Zach.
Yeah, thanks very much, Kevin. We talked at the end of that period about what Scott Sandlin said to us before the game today was that he liked the adversity that his team faced in yesterday's 5-3 win over this St. Cloud State team. He liked the adversity they faced last weekend in the 2-1 win over North Dakota. And this period kind of exemplified that they don't panic when St. Cloud State scores the 2 power play goals. They come back, get one of their own at the end, and they have a 2-goal lead going to the third.
Yeah, I mean, things were looking a little dicey there for a while. A team like St. Cloud gets those power plays back-to-back. They capitalize on them. They're right back in this hockey game. And then, like you said, Zach, they were able to get that 4-2 lead again, that 2-goal lead, and then to play that last 3 minutes of that period, to keep that lead and go into the third period, I think that was a big moment for them and hopefully a big confidence booster.
You called those final 3 minutes maybe the biggest 3 minutes of the season thus far for UMD. Safe to say this final 20 minutes now becomes the most important 20 minutes of the season for this Bulldogs team, not necessarily because of what the win will mean in the standings or the pairwise, but just because it's kind of a make-or-break moment, it feels like, for this team to get things pointed in the right direction.
Yeah, I think it's just like a believe in yourself, learning how to win, right? You hear that phrase all the time, especially these young guys that they have in the lineup this year. You got to learn how to win, and these are the types of games. You got a 2-goal lead against the number 1 team in the country. You talk about, being in a situation that needs your best, and that's what they're going to need to bring this period. Need to bring their best. And I think the message is the same from both dressing rooms probably this period is, guys, we got to stay out of the box. First and foremost, UMD's got to stay out of the box. They can't give up any more power plays. And St. Cloud's probably saying the same thing, as UMD's 2 for 3 right now on the power play. And I believe St. Cloud's 2 for 4, so with that 5-minute major as well. So 5-on-5 hockey would be great to see this period, and whoever can play it best is going to win this game.
We say it all the time, the next goal, monumental in this game between UMD and St. Cloud State. Elsewhere around Bulldog country, earlier today in this building, the UMD women fell just short against in-state rival Minnesota. The Gophers sweep the Bulldogs in that WCHA series. The men's and women's basketball teams swept today at Romano Gymnasium by Augustana. For the 10th-ranked women, it's a loss that snaps a 14-game winning streak, their first loss this season in the NSIC. Here it is UMD 4, St. Cloud State 2 after 2 periods of play. The Super One Foods intermission report continues right after this on My 9 Sports.
Welcome back to the second intermission report. Bulldogs up 4-2. A big reason for that, Isaac Howard got the assist on the Owen Gallatin goal, and I got the chance to talk with the first-round draft pick. Isaac, you come into UMD with quite the resume, just the 5th player in program history you've drafted in the first round at 31. Some think you should have went higher. What was that whole experience like for you during draft day?
It was a really cool experience. I was there with my friends and family up in Montreal. It was a really cool spot to have the draft, and just waking up knowing that the day's finally there. I've been dreaming of that my whole life, to finally be drafted in the NHL and to hear my name by Tampa was really cool, and so an experience I can't really recreate. Great program, and that's another step in my career that I'm excited for. But now I'm in Duluth and just focusing on the season.
And playing in Ann Arbor the last 2 years has to have some confidence for you, playing with so many great players. What is that experience like?
I loved it there. It was a really great 2 years. With all the best guys in the country, and just that ability to bond with them. They'll be my brothers for life, and just battling with them every day. I think that's kind of where you get better. It's not even the games we play, but it's kind of just, when we're battling against each other, building each other up. I think that's kind of the most unique part of NTDP.
Well, and how does that sort of help you build to the D1 level here at UMD, playing with
those kids?
Yeah, I think it helps us a lot because we got to play 12 or 18 D1 games last season already. So it's not really a jump. No feeling out process, which is nice.
You're already coming and playing experience with Cole Spicer. What's it like playing with him?
Yeah, it's been great. I've known him, pretty much forever now, since we were like 8, 9 years old, playing with each other. So it's pretty funny. We were kind of rivals for a while when he was committed to Nodak, so we would always joke about being rivals, and now we'll be teammates, which is pretty cool. And he's my roommate here, so it's pretty fun, and it's pretty easy.
And what made here the right fit for you? What made UMD the right fit?
The winning culture, number one. They're constantly winning, constantly up, for the national championship. I thought that's what drew me in as a player. And then again, that hockey community, that's kind of what I love is, hockey's the show in town. It's not football, not soccer, it's hockey, which, excites me.
And throughout all the tournaments you played, you had to play with some of the guys on different teams, obviously. Is there a team you're most excited to play against?
I think, a fun one will be North Dakota. In North Dakota, obviously, that'll be a fun weekend. We don't play too many of my former teammates, actually. A lot of them are in the Big Ten. But I'd say probably North Dakota weekend series will be the best.
Inside the House is brought to you by Bullion RV.
Isaac told me that he'd bring out that white suit that he wore on draft day that got so many heads turning for a special occasion. Maybe a sweep of the #1 team in the country is a special occasion enough. Who knows? Stick around. Third period should be a good one.
Win a period, win a game for UMD. They lead 4-2 here at Amsoil Arena with 20 minutes left to play. Each team with a pair of power play goals. UMD has tacked on a shorthanded goal and a 5-on-5 goal to reach our 4-2 score through 2 periods. Elsewhere around the league, Omaha earlier today knocked off Western Michigan, a 2-0 shutout in Kalamazoo. North Dakota, an 8-0 shellacking of Miami. Colorado College and Denver played last night but are off until next weekend. As the second half of the NCHC never disappoints, things start to tighten up as the points stand right now. UMD into 7th place of the league standings behind North Dakota. But if this result holds, UMD would then leapfrog back into 6th. As you take a look at the gauntlet that is UMD's remaining schedule. Western Michigan in town next weekend, then they go to Denver and close with a home series against Miami and a road series against these St. Cloud State Huskies. It does not get any easier for UMD.
Well, they'll certainly be tested, and there's a good opportunity. They're going to see one of those teams there in the first round of playoffs, too, back on the road at this point, unless they can string together a remarkable winning streak, which they're at 2 right now, and they're 20 minutes away from making it 3 in a row against some pretty good teams. So you never know what can happen. These Scott Sandlin teams have been known to peak down the stretch, hit their stride, and I know, talking to Brett Larson before the weekend as we look at him there, he had these dates circled on the calendar, obviously, against the Bulldogs, and he noted, of course, it has to be in the second half of the season down the stretch, right? It's just not when you want to play the Bulldogs year in and year out. And him and I kind of joked about that. Why couldn't we got him a little earlier? But as you can see, he was on to something with that because his Bulldog teams played pretty good this weekend.
A massive 20 minutes for UMD and the projection of their season. It's still late January, but this feels already somewhat like playoff hockey, Judd.
Yeah, it really does. I mean, the intensity, sold-out crowd. Awesome to see Amsoil Arena like this tonight. A lot of St. Cloud fans here, but certainly the majority Bulldog fans looking for 20 good minutes of hockey here and Saturday night special.
Kaiser, a turnover high in the zone here. Miettinen turns and fires. That was deflected to the end boards. UMD doesn't want much of that, as that was an errant pass from Kaiser. And allows St. Cloud to hold the zone. Bushy, far point, long shot. That one missed off the end boards. It comes. Akabe was tied up with Kaiser. and Kaiser goes off the glass, this time out to center for UMD. Lidke ahead for Akabe. He'll delay and try to flip to that opposite corner. Dashke puts a glove to it. Ahead for Steves. Trying to line him up was Akabe. Steves sidestepped him, fired a shot that was wide and high on the glove side of Bassie. Trable to Wiley, and he'll start the charge now for St. Cloud State. That pass was behind Crookshank, who did a great job to just throw his stick at it and negate what probably would have been an icing.
Yeah, just kind of wildly kind of threw a stick around, got a piece of it. Problem is if you kind of hit it the other way, it might backfire on you, but good hand-eye coordination.
90 seconds gone in this third period. Kupka on the near boards, fights with Dashke, the two number 10s. Bouncing puck toward the middle, comes to Crookshank. He just missed on the stick side of Stayskull. Peart holds, moves it to the near side. Zemer walks in. That shot was blocked by Latterroot, and Milmock will clear the zone. He controls across the St. Cloud line. His shot toward the net was well wide, and Miller will pick it up now for the Huskies. Out to center ice, takes a bump from Jacques. And now it's moved to the near side. Gallatin, who got that late second period goal to restore the 2-goal lead for UMD. Francis flips to center now. Lidke at his own blue line. Tries to move it ahead. Johnson almost found a streaking Howard, who had come off the bench for UMD. Now Gallatin ahead. Howard controls at the red line. He'll gain some speed. Tries to drive wide. Hands off for Spicer. He wraps it around to the far side. Ingram will pick it up. No Bulldog was there. Johnson, though, fights back to win it for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, nice body position there by Johnson to step in front of St. Cloud State player and win that puck possession. UMD doing a really nice job right now, just controlling the puck, getting pucks deep, good position, good sticks. They'll play like this and run this timeout as long as they possibly can.
Shot in now by the Huskies. Kaiser off the boards. It comes to the middle, and that's off the knob of the stick of Stayskull. I think it was headed wide, but it hit the knob and bounced into the corner. Now it's Kaiser ahead for Olsen. Stepping down on the play was Trable. He missed the check on Olsen. Now it's Loney. Tried to put it through the triangle of a coin. He did well enough to direct it into the corner, but now an icing coming up here on St. Cloud State. And let's step aside for this. Well, actually, no. Let's look at the NCHC standings.
Well, very important for St. Cloud. If they can't pick up a point this weekend, you can see with Denver off tonight, they're going to stay right there, obviously. And UMD trying to climb up. Would love to somehow catch Omaha for that 4th spot. They have their work cut out for them to get that home ice in the playoffs, which you and I were talking about.
Well, actually, those were coming into tonight, so you got to factor in the results. Right. Omaha now up to 30 at the moment, into 2nd. And North Dakota, as we mentioned, for the moment into 6th ahead of UMD.
Pretty good logjam there. Some teams that we haven't seen up there. Colorado College, obviously North Dakota, UMD in the bottom.
Now a turnover. This is Steves inside the line. A shot, and Bassie makes the save. Now let's step aside for this message from our sponsors.
Choose Ogston's Body and Paint when your car needs repairs.
Well, there's Ben Steves again with the offensive chances. He picks that puck up in the neutral zone and steps across the line. Look at all that time and space he has. St. Cloud State defenseman backing way up there. Not something you want to do against a player that can shoot the puck like Steves. When you back up that much, you're not only going to screen your goaltender, but you're going to allow Steves to come in and kind of pick a spot there. You want to kind of go at him, get a good angle, and force him to the outside.
Off the face-off, behind the goal, it's Olsen. He stops and starts, tried to go back the other way, defended by Bushy, knocked the puck into the near boards, and now out to center ice. Kaiser collects it and sends it immediately back deep into the St. Cloud zone. Akabe, rink wide, Miettinen. Comes to Goats up the far boards. Crashing down on the play was Bushy. I think that's Goats who went off the glass and all the way down. That's icing here on UMD. Nearly 5 minutes gone in this third period so far, according to script for UMD.
Yeah, little 5-minute increments. That's kind of how you address or look at this period. You break it down into 5-minute increments, and so far so good for UMD for the first of 4 5-minute increments. If I'm no mathematician, but I believe that would make 4 of them.
Don't ask me to do math.
All right.
Kaiser ahead for Olsen. Trable stepped down to pinch. Lost the puck, and now Crookshank's helmet came unbuckled, so the whistle sounds, maybe fortunately for UMD, as that puck was in around the Bulldog zone, but the buckles on Crookshank's helmet are an automatic whistle, and the face-off that will come at center ice.
Yeah, Quinn Olsen almost took a heavy hit there as he heard footsteps and just avoided it, but almost looked like he got an elbow to the back of the head. I think he's okay, but might have to take a hit to make a play here in this third period, especially those wingers along the wall. St. Cloud State defensemen certainly would be looking to pinch and take a couple chances to keep plays alive in the offensive zone. And that was one there.
Top line out there for the Bulldogs. They lose the draw. St. Cloud shoots it immediately into the Bulldog zone, but James does well on the wall on the far side to win the puck back, and now Steves is dumped in the middle of the ice. No call coming.
I guess we're going to put the whistles away now, as that was clearly interference. Oh, nice
Passed
play.
ahead through the skates of James. They'll wave off the icing as Lidke is back to retrieve it for St. Cloud. It's tipped back out to center ice. Dubinsky is bothered by Crookshank, who's back. He was forced to leave after that helmet malfunction, but he's back for his regular shift now. Actually, now he stepped back off. Kupka enters the zone. Wraps it around on the far side. Low height. Bumped by Molinar. Sahlquist there. Molinar comes away with it. Shovels one toward the net, and Stayskal covers up. Will step aside. It's UMD 4, St. Cloud State 2 on My 9 Sports. Tonight's Castle Danger Brewery check of the game brought to you by UMD's Quinn Olsen as he delivers a hit just inside the blue line. It's been a heavy hitting series this weekend between the Huskies and the Bulldogs. That is tonight's Castle Danger Brewery check of the game.
Yeah, there's been a few big hits. Things have kind of settled down so far here in the third period. Nobody really wants to make a mistake, playing good positional hockey and not getting caught running around.
James tries to weave his way through center ice. Steves will shovel it in. That puck out of play up over the glass behind the St. Cloud State bench. And the face-off coming at center ice. The officials conferencing. Will step aside for this message from our sponsors.
Want to increase your brand awareness? Look no further than Soda Signs and Graphics.
Well, we will go to center ice here as that puck went out of play.
St. Cloud State wins it ahead. This is a coin. He's got Rogers going to the net. Sliding on the play was the UMD defenseman, and it's in the net. Rogers for St. Cloud State. It's 4-3.
No, that's a pretty ugly goal. That's a puck that gets thrown to the net, and there's 3 or 4 players crashing there and sliding around. I mean, somehow this does end up in the net. It's a bad break, but it's in the net. Referee's got a good vantage point there. St. Cloud State player in the net. Pitch for, I mean, there's a
Rogers and a coin both whacking at it. There was no whistle on the play, and you saw the puck get through the pads of Zach Stayskal. And UMD considering whether or not they want to challenge this. It's Owen Gallatin who slid to try and defend the 2-on-1, and he's the one that went into Stay-Skull.
Yeah, but my only question is, look at the St. Cloud State player kind of pitchforking the puck essentially under the goaltender into the net, and you can't do that. You can't pitchfork a player or a pad that propels the puck into the net. They're not even going to look at this, so that's a bad break for UMD, but hey, good things happen when you go to the net for St. Cloud. Throw pucks there, and all of a sudden they're back in it.
Not sure who's going to get credit for it, either Jack Rogers or Ethan Acoyne. If it's Acoyne, it's his first collegiate goal, as a flurry in front of the net of St. Cloud State follows shortly after. We'll wait for the official announcement and let you know, as an icing coming here against the Huskies. And it's a one-goal game with just over 13 minutes to go here, third period.
Well, it's kind of a bad break on the entry into the zone. I think it was Will Francis, puck kind of bobbled on him. It hit his skate, and it bounced free to the St. Cloud State player, who then threw it to the net with traffic. I mean, it wasn't a pretty goal. It was kind of a hard-working fourth-line goal, which is what those guys were doing. And a good break, and the break that they needed for St. Cloud to get them within one.
Offensive zone draw after the icing here for UMD. It's controlled by St. Cloud State. Lidke moves it ahead. Lidke has it again in the corner. In behind, it's Crookshank. Back to the point, Lidke. Delay is tipped in front, past the glove of Stay-Skull. Dashke directs it to the far corner, up the boards now. Low height will lead a 3-on-2 as they come through center ice. James and Steves across the line, leaves it for Low height. Good back pressure by Crookshank to knock that one away. James couldn't center, and Lidke controls. I believe it was announced as Ethan Acoyne's goal, meaning that's his first collegiate goal, the freshman out of Alberta. Inserted into the lineup tonight for St. Cloud State. Centering pass finds Miettinen. Zemer to the far side, Peart. Stick handles, a block shot there by Bettens, and he'll clear. That'll be an icing for UMD, but a big block shot by the freshman Kyle Bettens.
Yeah, nice block shot there.
Icing here on UMD, and we'll take the time to remind you that Hoops Brewing is the place to be before, during, or after UMD hockey games here at Amsoil Arena. Go enjoy some of the area's best locally crafted beer. Check out Hoops Brewing, an official watch site of UMD hockey. UMD wins this face-off, flips to center ice. Olsen in a foot race with Trable. Trable clears the zone for St. Cloud, runs into Carter Loney, and now the battle ensues right in front of the penalty box area as we tick past 12 minutes to go in the third period. Molinar, caught from behind by Loney. He's able to get it in deep. Kaiser back to retrieve for UMD. Watched by Salquist, tried to leave it there, turns it over. Salquist tries to center. It's kicked around by UMD, and Gallatin will clear for the Bulldogs. Here comes Owen Gallatin. Leaves for Spicer across. Howard, he scores! Isaac Howard! The Bulldogs back up by 2.
Well, watch this play here by Cole Spicer. Hits Howard on the back door, who sweeps this in. The goalie wanted goalie interference, but it didn't look like it there. My other question, was it offside? So watch this. Is there goalie interference? No chance. Watch the goaltender. He's saying that was interference. He wasn't even close in my mind, Jack Smith. But they're talking. Yeah, there's nothing there. Brett's looking up. He shakes his head. This is a good goal. Yeah.
St. Cloud State elects not to challenge for the moment, and Isaac Howard has his 4th goal of the year. His 2nd goal in as many weekends. And UMD back up by 2 with 11:25 to play. punch, counter punch on Saturday night at Amsoil Arena.
That's exactly right, Zach. I mean, we saw in the second period when St. Cloud got their 2 power plays, they come back with 1, and we see it again here in the third, but still over half this period to go, but a good answer by UMD there.
Miller has it along the M boards. Tries to move it up those far boards. Now he has it behind the net. Kupka, centering pass. That's knocked away by Lowhite and chopped to center ice by Dashke. It might lose steam. Nope, it'll be get as far as icing, and James really wanted to beat that out, but not enough ice to do it for UMD. It's an icing and a face-off in the defensive zone.
Oh, nice hustle by James there. Almost getting to that puck, but you got a 2-goal lead. If you got to ice the puck, I think it's an okay time to do that. Maybe if it's a 1-goal lead, you try to want to avoid it, but 2 goals, and if it's your only play, absolutely you can send that thing down there.
UMD controls off the draw. Steve flips it to the far boards, now out to center. It's knocked down by James. His pass missed Lowhite, but won't get far enough this time for icing, and UMD changes 4 of its 5 skaters. Steve's the lone holdover. Shot in by Wiley, Cronulla, and Goetz. It's in the feet of Cronulla. He didn't know it. Goetz gets a second effort up the wall. It comes to Steves, who will flip it, and that might hit the scoreboard. Nope, missed on the far side. Wyatt Kaiser can show him how later. Latterud circles back in the Bulldog zone. We've reached the halfway point now at period number 3. Each team with a goal this frame. So UMD still up by 2.
Well, second 5-minute segment, another tie. Each team gets a goal. Job well done halfway through this third period by UMD.
Tipped in by a coin. Dubinsky back to play it for UMD. Up the wall, it's held momentarily by Peart. Howard moves it to the middle. Smith and Dashke on the scene, but it's taken back by Peart. His pass across the zone, disrupted by Howard. It comes to Zemer now, who has to double back from the pressure of UMD freshman Isaac Howard. Rogers tips it in for the Huskies. He's in alone as St. Cloud State changing behind the play. Dashke up the wall to Howard. Tried to move it to the middle. Taken away by Crookshank. Bouncing puck. Can't control it. It comes to Dashke and now Lidke. To the far side, Bushy. A shot that's waffle boarded to the side by Zach Stayskull. Now up to the blue line and swept to center by Isaac Howard.
Oh, there's that freshman line again. Isaac Howard making an impact. Again, we've seen this from him this year. When he has good shifts or he scores or gets points, his next shift is always just full of energy. And he's just like a little kid right at the playground. He's just so excited to be there and trying to make something happen. I got to love that.
Kaiser now with control in the zone. Gallatin, a shot. Bassey made the save. The rebound still free. And a quick whistle perhaps. The crowd doesn't like it, but we'll head to a break. UMD leading 5-3 on My9 Sports.
It's time for the My9 Sports Bulldog Fan of the Week. This week's fans are Alana's sons. They are big Joey Pierce guys as well. For your chance to be Fan of the Week, post your photos on the My9 Sports Facebook page or email them to kbjr-my9sports@gray.tv. The My9 Bulldog Fan Sport of the Week is brought to you by Blue Tap and Change and the Blue Tap on Tower.
8.5 minutes to play, period number 3. UMD for the second straight night protecting a 2-goal lead in the third period against top-ranked St. Cloud State.
Full student section tonight. Lots of kids, lots of youth hockey players. Unbelievable atmosphere here, and they're in for a nice final 8 minutes here. Hockey Day in Minnesota. We got our own hockey day up here, Zach, don't we?
Yeah, other than Hermantown, it's lovingly referred to up north as Hockey Day Twin Cities. But we'll make our own Hockey Day.
Well, I know some of our local rinks, outdoor rinks, had their own. It wasn't too cold for them. Glen Avon, one of them. They had all their kids up there today skating outside, enjoying the celebration of this kind of a holiday in the state of Minnesota.
Lidke a long shot, pad save Stayskal. Karam's off the boards, and Kaiser a quick clear for UMD at the line. Comes back to Kaiser, spins a pass, and a good defensive play by Lidke. Now Bettens has it on the half boards. Gives it to Olsen, down low, between the legs for Loney, and he couldn't get a shot off in the end. Pretty passing in the offensive zone for UMD.
Yeah, good composure there by, again, Bettens. Not panicking, not just throwing it away, using his big body to protect it and make the right play.
Kavinsky back to get it for UMD. Double teamed in the corner, gets some help now from low height. Now it's Dashke off the glass and out to center ice. Taken away here by Steeves in a foot race with Trable. Steeves wins that. Trable throws a big hit though, separates him from the puck. It comes up the boards. James will hold and shoot it back into that corner. Trable with a reverse hit as he and Steeves continue to battle. And the puck flipped to center ice now at the UMD line. Back to neutral. James rink wide. That was head high for Dashke, who couldn't control. Now a takeaway for Rogers. A shot wide on the stick side from a sharp angle. Kupka with it in the corner. Wraps it around to the near side. Zemer wants to pinch. Latterroot can't get it past him. Zemer lost an edge, and Latterroot now will clear on the second effort. 2-on-1 if they hurry. Latterroot a shot, and Zemer a good reach to knock that puck up out of play.
Yeah, that's a good play by Latterroot there. He got going up the ice, didn't try to force a pass, just get a shot on goal there. Worst case scenario, goes out of play like that, and you get an offensive zone faceoff. He made a great play in the zone here. Zemer, you said, tried to pinch there, but Latterroot just got enough of a piece of him to knock him off balance. I mean, he got by him, but when you make contact just ever so slightly to disrupt that play, you throw him off and buy yourself some time, and he actually ended up falling down, which is good. Even if he didn't, he's still off balance and not able to get a good shot off.
Face-off won by St. Cloud. 6.5 minutes to go. Miller into the zone.
No
penalty
way.
coming to UMD. Delayed call on the Bulldogs.
That is unbelievable. They've missed two on that St. Cloud did to UMD, the exact same thing, and they called it on UMD on a hook.
Crookshank and Kaiser fight into the far corner. Crookshank controls. Gets some help now. Now Kaiser takes it away, and the whistle goes. St. Cloud State to the power play. Their 5th of the night, trailing by 2 goals with 6:10 to play.
You know, they let the guys play all period long, and then all of a sudden they call this one, and it happened earlier in the shift here, but bottom line, UMD's got to kill this off. They did it on the last attempt, and they'll need to do it at least one more time here. The 5th chance for St. Cloud on the power play tonight. They've already got 2, excuse me.
Top 10 power play in the nation. St. Cloud has. They are 2-4-4 so far in the game tonight. Both from Yami Kronola, who's on the ice to start this one. Peart to Kronola. Down low, centering pass intended for Akabe. One touch from Salquist. And he missed, and it came back to the St. Cloud State end.
Yeah, similar to that UMD power play that low height scored the first goal of the game. They try to work it low to high real quick, and that one they weren't able to execute on.
Akabe shoots it around to the far side. Lidke, he's double teamed. Salquist to Peart. Now it's Kronola. They'll get set up. UMD aggressive on that last zone entry. One-timer. Stayskal makes the save. Zach Akabe with the blast from the high circle.
Great save by Stagecall there. You look how far out of his crease he got there. He came out and challenged this shot. He's a big guy, so the further out he gets, the less net there is to shoot out. But you can see right here, just a simple one-timer there. Stagecall out of the blue paint, making himself big. He's going to have to be their best player in the last 5 minutes and 34 seconds here.
He's made 27 saves in the game for UMD. They win the face-off, and a clear by Olsen. 45 seconds gone now in the St. Cloud State power play. Peart through center ice. We'll leave it for Kronola. Now Akabe into the circle. Watched by Gallatin. Far side Lidke in the corner. Back to the near boards. Akabe. Kronola. Peart. Long shot. Bodies in front. It's swept away from trouble by Gallatin. He can't clear. Peart will hold. Far side circle through the top of the crease area. It comes to Cronel at the near point. Peart now to Akabe. Far side circle in front. The tip for Salquist didn't go. UMD again can't clear. 30 seconds still to go in the man advantage for the Huskies. Olsen tripped up. UMD won't get that call. Peart to the far side. Lidke can't handle it cleanly. Tied up in the far corner with 20 seconds to go in the power play. It's wrapped around the rail to the near side. Cronulla. Peart. Lidke at the faceoff dot. In the middle. Swept away by Olsen to the corner. Up the wall and out to center. UMD has killed it off. Latterroot back on. And we return to 5-on-5.
Huge kill there for UMD. St. Cloud doing everything they can. Good puck movement, but unable to get anything through to stage call. Good job by UMD blocking shots. They had a couple of chances to clear on that, and they weren't able to. They got a little bit lucky there, but got the job done.
Back to even strength. St. Cloud is in offside, and we will take a break. 3:49 to go. Bulldogs up by 2 on My 9 Sports. UMD Stores has the area's largest selection of UMD wear and is open 7 days a week. You can visit the campus store on Kirby Drive to see the newest gear for fans of all ages, or shop online anytime, anywhere at umdstores.com. .349 to go. UMD leads it 5-3, trying to sweep the top-ranked team in the country and extend a midseason winning streak to 3 games. Kaiser chased deep in his zone. He just has to move it to the far boards. Goats battles there. Bassey to the bench for St. Cloud. Extra attacker on with 3.5 minutes to go. Miettinen to Kupka. Ingram near board. 6-on-5 for St. Cloud State. Trable's shot was blocked by Lowhite out to center ice.
It's a big block there.
Now a takeaway for James. Empty net for UMD. Dominic James, it's 6-3.
Well, as they say, there's your dagger, Zach, as Dominic James rips that thing into the empty net. What a weekend for UMD. The Bulldogs come out with 6 points. Still 3 minutes left here, but it's all but good in my book, I'd say. Bad break there for Trable as he loses an edge, and Dominic James scores the easiest goal of his life, and a pretty big one as that seals the deal here at Amsoil.
With authority, Dominic James puts it in the empty net, his 8th goal of the year, and it's a 6-3 game with 3:18 to go here at Amsoil Arena. What a weekend for the Bulldogs. Lidke tipped in by Spellacy. Rogers tried to throw it out in front. Bassey looking to the bench, wondering if he should come again. Inside of 3 minutes to go. He's out near the top of the circle, still in the game. 2-on-2 battle behind the net. It appears he'll stay for the moment. Latterroot clears the zone. He'll just chip it softly ahead. Peart forced to chase it. Tried to move it to Lidke. He's bothered by Milmock, and the puck in the hands now of Wyatt Kaiser in his own zone. Lidke, a shot, blocker save, and the rebound swept away by UMD. Akabe in the far corner. Has to spin away from Loney. Now behind the net, Akabe into the corner. Now Bassey to the bench. Centering pass is knocked away by UMD. Miettinen to the point. Cronulla back to Miettinen, blocked by Loney. Miller chases to the corner. Trable has it. Double team by UMD, gets it to Miller. Sweeps it to the far side through Akabe. This is Miettinen. Now it's Akabe, and a save by Stayskal with 1:54 to go. We'll step aside. This message from our sponsors.
We'd love to see you in downtown Duluth at Mainstream Fashions for Men.
Well, Zach Stagecall, he's been very sharp tonight there. You can see even on that tough angle, quick release shot there, he's not cheating by any means. He's hugging that post, square up to the shooter, and no rebound whatsoever. That's what's been impressive about him tonight. He's really controlled those rebounds. It's been fun to watch. He stepped his game up tonight.
6-on-5 with 1:45 to play. Kupka on the end board, centering pass. That shot ripped wide of the goal. That was Miettinen on the doorstep for St. Cloud. UMD has the puck now, moved out to neutral ice. Steves couldn't win the battle. Miettinen is held, a penalty coming to UMD as Lowhite grabbed a hold of Miettinen and now will also get a misconduct for unsportsmanlike conduct after he said something to the officials. So 6-on-4 coming for St. Cloud State. And let's take a look back at your colder keys to the game.
Yeah, I mean, control the puck. UMD, they have done an excellent job tonight controlling the puck, making smart plays, and limiting those grade A chances. We have not seen a lot of grade A chances for St. Cloud. They've had a few, but you know you're going to give up a couple, but they've really limited those. On the St. Cloud side, I mean, the special teams battle, again, it's in UMD's favor. They each got power play goals, but the shorthanded goal that UMD scored in this game tonight, back in that first period, is a huge difference maker tonight. So
2 minutes for holding the low heights and the 10-minute misconduct. Be fairly inconsequential, the misconduct part of it. The holding penalty means it's 6-on-4 with the extra attacker on for St. Cloud. Kronola fires one that's blocked by Dubinsky. Peart has it back to Kronola, fires a shot high and wide, and that caroms all the way back out to center ice. Akabe will enter the zone. Final 60 seconds now of what will be perhaps a season-defining sweep for this UMD team. Kronola to Peart, back to Kronola, he walks in, fired again wide, and again it hits the boards and bounces back out to center ice. This UMD team being saluted by this near-capacity crowd at Amsoil Arena. It's been a while since this crowd has felt like they had something to cheer about. It's been a tough season. As UMD clears, perhaps for the final time tonight.
Wyatt Kaiser blocked that shot right in front of the net. What a weekend he's had. Struggled a little bit in this third period, but makes up for it with a big block shot there. Stage call. He's going to try to hit that open net.
It's going to be just wide, but the Bulldogs are going to win it. 6-3, the final. The Bulldogs sweep number 1, St. Cloud State.
Well, how good does this feel for Bulldog fans tonight? Scott Sandlin and his coaching staff and the players, as they shake hands up at center ice. Well, they have a lot of respect for each other still after what they've been through together as a staff, and now competing against each other. But what a weekend for UMD with a sweep over the number 1 team in the country and picking up 6 big points in NCHC play, maybe more importantly.
6-3 the final. We'll take a break, bring you back to wrap things up here from Amsoil Arena on My 9 Sports. 6-3 the final. UMD gets the win here on Saturday night. They complete the series sweep over top-ranked St. Cloud State. We said going into this weekend that the Bulldogs were starting to get better production from their young guys, but maybe needed some more from the older guys in the lineup. Well, down on the ice with our Kevin Moore, the young and the old. Isaac Howard, a freshman forward. Jesse Jacques, a fifth-year senior forward, both with our Kevin Moore.
Thanks, Zach. Kind of a package deal, but I'll start with you, Jesse. You're kind of undefeated on the weekend. You got the sweep, and your Hermantown Hawks just kicked Matamita's booty on Hockey Day. How does it feel winning this one?
Yeah, obviously this win's huge for us, and that's pretty cool that Hermantown's playing on Hockey Day, Minnesota, and obviously got the win too. But yeah, I mean, the boys came together against the number 1 team in the country, and we swept them. So yeah, we're pretty excited right now.
And now, Isaac, I'll go to you. That goal you had, I mean, you guys needed that. You guys, sigh of relief. I saw you. Boy, that chemistry that you talked to me about early in the season with Cole, how did it pay off on that goal?
Yeah, it was a great play by him. Galley kind of kicked that out to him, and I just found that soft area, and I saw the 5-hole was open, so I just took it.
All right, Jesse, back to you now. You had a heck of a weekend. You had that crazy assist. You got a shorthanded goal. What's been clicking so far right now?
I mean, we just had a big talk last weekend about coming together, and I think we did that. Personally, that's great to get on the score sheet, but I'm happy because the whole team came together, and we're playing great hockey right now. We put up, 11 goals, so the number one team in the nation, so, yeah, we're fired up.
Yeah, you put up 11 goals. Sandy said you guys weren't a high goal-scoring team. So you're going to go back there and say, we just put up 11 on the number one team in the country, 2 great goalies.
Yeah, exactly. Like you said, two great goalies, and we kind of peppered them with shots, and we just played Bulldog hockey. We're getting back on track, so watch out for the Bulldogs.
All right, appreciate it, guys. Thanks.
Thanks.
Big Bulldog series win, Zach.
Yeah, thanks very much, Kevin. Still late January, still a regular season series, but when you talk about this UMD program, about winning big games at the right moments, again, it feels like it's starting to trend pretty heavily in the right direction for this group. And Scott Sandlin and his staff have always said, we like this group, and they just needed that first half to maybe figure things out. Well, this is as big a statement as they could make in the regular season.
Yeah, it's going to open a lot of eyes, obviously, when you knock off a team like St. Cloud. But like Jacques said, scoring 11 goals against the top-ranked team, that's something we haven't seen a lot of goal production this year from this group, but we knew it was there. We knew it's coming from certain individuals, but the fact that they kind of got it from the older guys and the younger guys, like you're saying, I mean, that's when you look at this team on paper, you expected to see that a little bit more, the Isaacs Howards, the Steves has played really well, but guys like Jacques chipping in and the defenseman as well, Gallatin stepping in offensively. It's great to see. So an unbelievable weekend. One of the best, certainly for sure this year, maybe in a while, to be honest.
College hockey, very much a business of what have you done for me lately. So certainly the Bulldogs and the community, the fans will take time to enjoy this series sweep of St. Cloud State. But next weekend, Western Michigan, another top 10 team in the country, comes into this building. You play Denver in a couple weeks. You play this St. Cloud State team again before the regular season's over. So now this is about, again, as we said in the pregame, stringing together back-to-back performances, back-to-back weekends like this one.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of nice coming off at a high emotional weekend like this, playing the number one team in the country and having success. And really, you don't change anything. You come right back Monday to work and have that focus that you need to knock off good teams. Western Michigan, like you said, top team. They're physical. You know what they're going to get from them. They play hard, North and South hockey, with a lot of skill, too. They've had some success this year, obviously. So they know what they're going to get, and they just have to be focused and prepared, have a great week, and continue rolling what they did this weekend.
I've said before that you throw out maybe a clunker against Colorado College, another one against Minnesota State Mankato, maybe a game against Wisconsin that wasn't the Bulldogs' best. They were right there before the break against Denver. They win 2 games here against St. Cloud State. The pieces have been in place for UMD. This has not been all doom and gloom. We don't want to paint the first half like that, but now to win these games against these kinds of teams, you mentioned at one of the intermissions, a team that's learning how to win at this level, and that's an important learning piece just as much as the X's and O's and what happens on the ice.
Yeah, and I mean, at the end of the day, there's no moral victory, so you can kind of go through the process and play well but not win and blah, 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 if you will. But now they need points. It's NCHC hockey. They're obviously not in the top 20 in the country right now, a place they haven't been in years. So they're going to have to fight their way in and win out, essentially. And when you knock the number one team off in the country, it's a pretty good start.
Awfully early to maybe start thinking about an at-large bid for UMD to the NCAA tournament, but yesterday's win alone moved them from 34th to 26th in the pairwise rankings. Another win tonight, you would think they'd move up a few more spots, maybe an at-large bid to the NCAA tournament. Not quite as unrealistic as it was just 2 weekends ago. As I mentioned, next weekend, the UMD men are back at home against Western Michigan. The Friday night game here is on CBS Sports Network. We will have Saturday night series finale for you here on My 9 Sports. It's an early start next weekend at 6 o'clock. And then in a couple weeks, the women's hockey team back home against St. Cloud State. That one on Saturday the 11th an afternoon start at 3 o'clock. So we've got more great hockey from both the men's and the women's teams coming for you later in this second half. Two teams that obviously have high aspirations. National championships are how we judge both these UMD programs, and they continue their march to maybe the NCAA tournament and beyond. For now, for Judd and Kevin and everyone here on My Nine Sports, thank you for spending some of your Saturday night with us. Thank you to our two corporate sponsors, Essentia Health and Kohler Chevrolet Buick GMC, for their continued support of these broadcasts all season long. UMD gets a sweep of the number one team in the country. St. Cloud State 6-3 in the final here. Good night, everybody.